Yo, what is going on, y'all?
John is a black box today.
Actually, I'm the redacted on the advice of our lawyers screen from the Chargers.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, switched it.
Nice.
The schedule release whatever. But
there you go.
my camera broke. I don't know why it's not working, but this is what we got to deal with. But regardless, week 11 waivers were already here. And, I mean, this was a kind of a crazy, this past week was kind of a crazy week. Tons of injuries. I mean, Dallas Goedert, Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is the big one here.
Just got some news that Jamar Chase still walking around in crutches when we were expecting, hopefully, that he would be back pretty soon. That's not good. Weird week because, like, Benjamin got released. On the day where Zach Ertz got basically, is he done for the year?
It sounds like Zach Ertz is done for the year after sustaining a knee injury. He was reportedly seeking a second opinion, but you know how these types of things usually go.
But you would think they would want to hold on to their playmakers, and they're cutting Benjamin.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of Zach Ertz getting hurt, that move didn't make sense to me. If you want to play Keontae Ingram ahead of him, okay, sure, fine. But also, Benjamin had a pretty good showing back in, was it week 4 or 5 when James Conner was out, didn't play that game?
It's got to be some kind of issue with the coaching staff or something. They got into an argument, something. Because the move makes no sense.
I don't quite understand it. Why get rid of the guy who has given you solid contributions? I mean, what more were you expecting? He was a former 7th round pick who seems to have, like, over the course of a couple of seasons started to develop, still only 23 years old. Yeah, like week 7, 12 carries, 92 yards and a touchdown, chipped in 4 catches for 21 yards. Like, what?
And they don't have Darrell Williams right now, right?
Or not useless, but that's just worth that. Yeah, like, it's worth it to cut that guy.
Yeah, it's a move that really doesn't make sense on a year where James Conner is averaging 3.83 yards per carry, yet Benjamin averaging I think it's like, I just checked, 4.27.
So it's better.
Yeah, straight bet. He was the best running back on a per touch basis for the Cardinals, and they cut him outright. It has to be something where the coaching staff was just fed up with something in the building. But regardless, he's a Texan.
That's coaching. Then that's just more organizational mismanagement and inability to handle situations.
But we knew that about that organization already.
Yeah, well, it just adds a little bit more to it.
Yeah.
So that happened. Ertz likely out for the year. And then Khalil Herbert. Speaking of running, okay. So just to wrap it up, sorry, Khalil Herbert has also been placed on IR, so he's going to miss a minimum of 4 games. But back to I mean, I guess he gets claimed by Houston. I don't think that has too much of an impact on Dameon Pierce, but
no, he takes the Rex Burkhead role moving forward.
Yeah, it muddies
that's all it is.
I don't even know if he takes that. It just kind of muddies the situation behind Dameon Pierce. And it's not a good situation overall.
No.
It's not a very good team. And then I guess Keontae Ingram steps into the RB2 role for James Conner. So I guess he's now worth a look.
And Rondale Moore has, for the past 4 weeks now, I think, he's been putting up really solid weeks. And now no Zach Ertz. So he's going to remain heavily involved, probably even when Hollywood Brown comes back into the fold. So, I mean, Rondale Moore doing things. But he's a beneficiary of the Zach Ertz issue, injury, and then this whole, Benjamin issue in his own right.
Right. So, and in fact, you mentioned Marquise Brown. He's going to remain palatable as well.
Yeah. Very much so.
He obviously just needs to get healthy first.
Yeah. And then, Casey Royals, your first question. Thoughts on Christian Watson? Christian Watson, 107 yards, I think. 3 touchdowns.
4 catches, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Crazy day for him.
Bit of a coming out party, and that might be a bit of an understatement for Christian Watson. And we weren't super hot on his tail, just because what could you have possibly gone off of?
It's not that we weren't hot on his tail. It's just I thought he ended up getting overdrafted. People got too high on the landing spot, whereas he should have been a fringe second, right around a second round.
Well, you're talking about. I just meant like for redraft purposes as a potential waiver wire pickup in the wake of Romeo Doubs getting hurt. I wasn't, thinking from a dynasty perspective. Like we weren't hot on his tail last week as far as like his opportunity ahead of him in week 11 or week 10, against the Cowboys.
Got you. Yeah.
Based off I agree. Romeo Doubs, high ankle sprain. He's gonna miss time. Obviously, it's been a hodgepodge otherwise. Randall Cobb set to return, but obviously still not playing. So, the onus was on like Christian Watson, pending could he stay in the lineup, right? He's been in and out of the lineup with injuries that he has picked up throughout the course of the season, multiple. So look, the talent is there and obvious. The opportunity is there and obvious. Worth a pickup worth a waiver wire pickup? Sure. If I'm desperate for a receiver, like, okay, fine. 25 out of $25, something like that. Sure, I'll, if I need a wide receiver, 3rd or 4th overall waiver claim, probably. But it's going to probably continue to be some ups and downs. There could be more ups moving forward. Now, he's getting some seasoning, right? He's got games under his belt, game experience under his belt. Maybe things start slowing down for him a little bit. But I don't think anybody's expecting this. We're obviously not expecting maybe even like 80% of that performance.
No, you can't say that wide receiver is going to get 3 touchdowns a game at any point. But can he get over 100 yards on a couple of catches again? Yeah, because he's that type of just archetype of wide receiver who, he's like 6'3", and can pop off for on 4 receptions.
Sure.
Couple of targets he can pop off, and especially in an offense where they're starving for target hogs. They're starving for playmakers. So they're gonna have to force the issue with them. And yeah, I think he has more 100-yard games in him. 3 touchdown, probably not. But
no. But he's probably worth a look as an interesting wide receiver 3, even on a short week against the Tennessee pass defense that has struggled so far this year on the whole.
They played him in 84% of snaps last week. Prior to that, he hadn't been above 32% of snaps since week 2 when he played 32% of snaps. And in week 1, he played 66% of snaps. But again, he was coming off of an injury early in the year, coming off of that injury that he had in training camp. So they couldn't utilize him fully at that point, and he wasn't just up to speed regardless because he hardly played any preseason games. But now, week 10, coming off an 84% snap share, where he went over 100 yards catching a half of his targets. He had 8 targets. I think he's a high-end wide receiver 3, and he has a chance to be what Lazard has been over the course of the season, which is a mid-tier wide receiver 2.
I'm not ready to go there.
You're not ready to go to high-end wide receiver 3 for Christian Watson?
I'm ready to go to wide receiver.
The opportunity is wide open.
Wide receiver 3, yes. I won't say he's got like Alan Lazard has been money this year for them.
Right, but if the pendulum swings in Christian Watson's favor moving forward, which is kind of what happened in this game, Christian Watson could become the new Lazard.
Yeah. I'm not ready to go there yet. I'm tempering expectations, I guess, a little bit more.
Fair. Than and I think you should, because there's nobody can replicate 3 touchdowns. But I'm saying he has that ceiling. He has that upside. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm not saying it already happened last week. I'm saying that he has that upside, but I view him as a upside wide receiver 3 at this point, and I think that's
wide receiver 3, fine. Like chance to put up consistent wide receiver 2 numbers, a la Allen Lazard. I will for now for the rest of the season. I'll say no on that.
Fair.
I'll say no on that.
All right, we disagree there. But high end wide receiver 3, and Kenyon Drake or Gus Edwards, Ronnie Wright.
What's up, Ronnie?
What's going on, man?
It's gonna be like matchup dependent. It's gonna be situation dependent. I think they're gonna deploy both of these guys.
I think the guy to own that they want to force the issue with is Gus Edwards. He came in week 7. He was the running back to own. 16 attempts, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. Right away. And week 8, 11 attempts, 65 yards, still had the juice, 5.9 yards per carry, didn't score any touchdowns, and then he got, I think he was hurt.
He got injured that week.
Right.
He got injured that week. But
also, no, I think it's, I think Gus Edwards is the one to own.
I'll just say for that game, I think that was a Thursday night game. Was that the Thursday night game he got hurt in? I think it was. Yeah. Kenyon Drake that injury happened, I think, in the third quarter of that game. So it didn't happen early. So I will just say Drake played 58% of the snaps in that game in totality. Obviously, that number went up when Edwards exited, but it wasn't like Edwards had a 40+% yard, 40+% snap share week 8, getting the bulk of the work in the first half, right? That wasn't the case. And again, maybe it was because it was the Thursday night game. I'm not sure. I think it's going to vary week to week. It's going to depend on the matchup. Like, for example, they played the Bucs that night. The Bucs have a good run defense. So what's a natural counter to that? A running back who you can kind of deploy a little bit more on third down.
Yeah,
That's
they're both RB3s.
Yeah, it's like
it's
Michael
just
Carter,
which one's the higher end RB3? I think it's Gus Edwards.
That's fine. If he's the floor, and then Drake is like the ceiling,
PPR,
higher ceiling, but floor of 0.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like, but it's also kind of like Carter and James Robinson. I don't know ultimately what that situation is going to be week to week. So yeah, they are matchup dependent flex plays.
Yeah. Yep. And they obviously cannibalize each other's upside a little bit. But we got 2 questions on Eno Benjamin, or comments at least. Eno got claimed by the Texans, Casey Royals, and do we pick up Eno? I had him, Tim Shields.
I'm
not willing to.
I'm not.
No, I don't think he's rosterable.
Downgrade. It's a downgrading situation now.
Yeah, I don't think he's rosterable in 12-team leagues. There are guys I would rather have that are probably on the wire.
It's a worse team. He's behind Pierce. The Cardinals don't have a Rex Burkhead type who's not going away. Eno's a drop.
Yeah.
In 12-team leagues, if anything, he's not a pickup unless I guess if you have Dameon Pierce and a free spot, sure, that's it.
Yeah, I'd rather have almost any handcuff over him right now.
Yeah.
Because, in the event that something happened to Dameon Pierce, it would just be an ugly committee. He wouldn't even really step in and be a bell cow. So, yeah, I'm not picking him up. If I had him, I'm dropping him.
He's dropped. Yeah, you can drop him.
Yep. Chevy 4x4.
Good
Chevy? Evening to you, too. You have a question. You have a good team 7-3. You got a trade on the table. You're offering Ramondre, Myers, and Dulcich for Lazard and ETN.
I'm good with this. As long as you're, yes, I think you're being fair because Ramondre and ETN are comparable. Myers has had strong PPR weeks, and Dulcich has absolute, momentum right now as far as expectations. So yeah, this is fair. That being said, if you can get Lazard and ETN, yes, I'm doing this trade.
Yeah, when you look at it, I mean, ETN doesn't have a Damian Harris breathing down his neck. Now, Ramondre, right. I wouldn't say that situation is really breathing down his neck at this point because Damian Harris is the clear-cut number 2 at this point. Yeah, he's the B. Off. He's the 2. But, yeah, I would rather have the ETN and the Zard side.
Yeah.
But this is a fair trade. Yeah.
And I appreciate that you have that you care about your reputation with trades.
I wish more people did.
I never send out crap offers. And I want to be respectful of my league mates.
I saw over the weekend we got a trade in a league that we're in that was just absolutely it was dynasty, but it was Michael Pittman and a 23 first for Tyler Boyd, Paris Campbell, Evan Ingram.
It was a hodgepodge of guys.
Khalil Shakir, and it was just like, what are you doing? So I wish more people, approached it like you did, Chevy, where your trade reputation means a lot to you. We commend that. Tim Shields, do I pick up Moreau or Juwan Johnson? You had Goddard. Yeah, bad luck on Goddard, man.
Moreau. He caught a touchdown. Darren Waller's is going to miss at least the next 3 games.
Juwan Johnson caught a touchdown too, but I would go Moreau too.
Moreau. I would go Moreau.
Yeah.
Juwan is a little bit more hot and cold.
Is Higbee out there with no Cooper Kupp moving forward? Because he's a guy that some people might have dropped. I would rather have him. But yeah, I would go Moreau.
Casey Royal, should I trade David Montgomery for Cordero Patterson? I wouldn't now. You just called it out. Herbert's hurt. Montgomery should be the guy that you should be packaging with something else to get a big upgrade now. Or you should get more than I like Cordero Patterson, but you should be able to get Patterson plus for Montgomery right now.
Yeah, because Cordero Patterson has a great ceiling, but his floor, as you saw last week, 2.5 fantasy points and half PPR. So you got to factor that in. David Montgomery, he might not have the ceiling that a Cordero Patterson does, and actually he might moving forward because of the opportunity ahead of him, and because the offense is really humming. So honestly, unless you can get like a clear-cut upgrade, I'm kind of content sticking with David Montgomery because this offense is really humming, and he has the opportunity 100% basically, because Treston Ebner isn't going to come in and eat carries. Or at least I'm not really worried about a workload from him, right? Or it's a solidified workload. So, yeah, if you're not getting a clear-cut upgrade, like a Saquon or a CMC or one of those guys in a package deal, I'm cool standing pat.
Yeah.
Richie Rich, with Brady on bye, should I stream Daniel Jones or Carr? Carr.
Daniel Jones. He's playing the Lions.
The past 2 weeks for Daniel Jones haven't been great.
197 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 carries.
No, look what he did in week 10. All right, never mind.
Not bad. Not bad. In a matchup that's actually not that great by the numbers, because Houston is just someone that you run all over. The Lions are one of the top matchups in the NFL for quarterbacks. That being said, that's all I'm gonna kind of expand on, Richie. Start-sit questions. We got to see practice reports. What if somebody randomly pops up on the injury report? We can definitively answer these on Saturday and Sunday. I get you want to get a jump on pickups, but I'm not too worried about the quarterbacks, man. I would just grab Daniel Jones and then hope for the best.
Yeah, either of those guys are basically right there in the rankings anyway. Yeah. So it is splitting hairs, but it's
If you want the guy who can run, Daniel Jones. If you want the guy who's got slightly better weapons, Carr, but Daniel Jones, I guess he'll run.
Yeah.
And
Senor Rojo, I think it is at this point, because I think they are going to have to force the issue a little bit with Trey McBride, and Mark Andrews should be coming back healthy very soon.
Right. Yeah. This is the time to flip that switch. McBride has the opportunity. Likely is going back to a number 2 role.
Yo, and speaking of tight ends, Cole Kmet 2 touchdowns last week. This is his second 2-touchdown game in the last 3 to 4 weeks. He is now on the streaming wire. If he hasn't picked up already, he's definitely a waiver ad. One of the things that we really don't do on our waiver wire streams is go through who we think you should pick up on waivers. We tend to just treat it as an AMA, but I'm just throwing that out there.
False advertising by us.
Hey, if y'all are happy, we're happy.
Yeah, true. We can, and I can always throw out names, but I think at this point the top options are obvious. The purpose of this, is to hopefully help with those second tier decisions to make.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows, go pick up Rachaad White. We have a smart audience. Everybody knows to go pick up Rachaad White. Everybody knows to go give Isaiah Pacheco a look. If any other prominent names have been dropped from over the course of the season due to injuries or whatever have you, yes, now's the time to grab them if they're starting to bounce back.
Yeah.
You guys know.
Yep. But thoughts on Trey McBride? He should come in and hopefully give you top 16 to 12 production. I'm not expecting tight end 1 numbers from him, but high end tight end 2, yeah, I think he can do that, man. He has an opportunity.
Let's see a 3-catch, 30-yard performance or something like that and then go from there.
Yep.
But he's got the opportunity, so we'll see.
It's an offense that utilized the tight end heavily, so we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Elout, good to see you.
What's up, Elout?
You rostered Tony instead of Pickens, and you didn't regret it this week. Yeah. Hey, Tony.
Yeah, both look good. Pickens also. They both scored.
Yeah.
Tony's opportunity looks to be a little bit better. Obviously, he's catching passes from Patrick Mahomes, and Mecole Hardman did, in fact, miss the game.
That's what I was going to point out. As everybody is rushing to go get Tony, we are, intrigued by his upside now, considering he does have what looks to be a somewhat solidified role in the offense, and he offers something that many other players don't. But one other player that does, that has been good prior to him showing up there, was the guy that was out in Mecole Hardman. So I would still rather Pickens over Tony. I'm glad it worked out for you this week, but I have to be honest with you, man. I'm not trying to drop Tony for Pickens, but who's on your bench? We can talk about it. Richie, top 4 waiver wire pickups are Schultz, Van Jefferson, Watson, Gus Edwards. In what order should I place them? Lost Ertz and Khalil Herbert to injury.
So Schultz 1. Schultz 1.
Yeah, Schultz 1, Watson 2, Gus Edwards 3, but it's really what position do you need more?
Yeah, if you need a backup. Yeah, if you could do Schultz,
for you,
Edwards.
It would be Edwards, yep, because you lost Herbert.
Yeah.
And then Watson, then Van Jeff.
Yeah. Schultz, Edwards, Watson, Jefferson. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Chris Genova, 66.
What's up, Chris?
Of 100 fab left, 5-5, lost 3 straight. Who should I splash the cash on? Wide receivers are Waddle, DJ Moore, Thielen, Wandale, Palmer. Running backs Aaron Jones, Eckler, and Darrell Henderson.
A wide receiver, but who's out there? Is Christian Watson out there and the best option? Go get him.
Is Tony out there? Then pick him up. Donovan Peoples-Jones out there, somebody that Nick was high on.
Is there? Is Pickens out there?
A few weeks ago, and pick him up.
Tony might be gone.
Well, DPJ might be there, and they got Deshaun Watson coming back in only 2 weeks now. We're 2 weeks away from that. So pick up Donovan Peoples-Jones, man. Everybody out there, go and do it.
And then start him. I've been telling people to start him, and it's working out.
Yeah. But is Darius Slayton available?
Sure.
He's had I think he led the team in receiving last week. And he's a guy that it only takes one play, right?
Catch for a touchdown, yeah.
Exactly. So those are guys that I would advocate, or we would advocate.
Yeah.
And Elout. Command Fulton, Watson. Honestly, man,
any advice? I
think you're all right.
You have your waivers set. Without knowing your record, I think you're fine. I guess you could try to keep asking around for a tight end, but that's about it.
Yeah. Team looks good. Tim Shields, you have Carter and James Robinson. Should I keep Robinson?
Yes.
Need a wide receiver or go for Godwin on bye? And you want to pick up Elijah Mitchell. You should try to keep Robinson, but you should try to pick up Mitchell too, man. Who else is available to drop? Let us know. Blurpy, do I trade Olave and Kmet for Debo? You have Andrews at tight end, and your wide receivers are Amon-Ra, D-Hop, Olave, and London. You were just going to pick up a tight end off waivers, most likely. What has Debo been doing the past few weeks? I know last week he didn't have the greatest week.
Yeah. You have Andrews. If he's as long as he's projected back, which I'm pretty sure he is, don't burn a waiver claim on another tight end.
No, yeah, I would.
Don't do that.
Yeah, yep.
Like, save that for something else. As far as Olave and Kmet for Debo, I think I would do that.
I mean,
because again, you don't need a backup tight end. You have Andrews. You have your guy. So sure, Kmet doesn't do that. Like, I know Kmet has popped, but in no scenario other than an injury are you. And I know Mark Andrews has been missing time this year due to injury, but he's set to return. He's set to come back healthy. You want to operate as if you're going to just have this dude moving forward in the stretch run. So I can turn Kmet and Olave, who I love, but who has tapered off here a little bit the past couple weeks.
As has Debo.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Debo. Debo's a proven player. Like a vet. Like, he was the wide receiver 2 last year.
Yeah.
I know what he's capable of.
But I also know that his role has changed in this offense over the past few weeks, looking at the rushing attempt numbers and the receiving numbers, and Christian McCaffrey coming in, and now Elijah Mitchell being available for this squad changes things. It does. And you look over the last 2 weeks that he has played. Yes, his snap share hasn't changed, so that is encouraging. But wide receiver 52 and wide receiver 48. Now 7 targets and 6 targets.
I think he's working his way back. He picked up an injury that forced him to miss week 8. Week 9 was the bye. He's getting eased back into things. I would do this trade.
All right. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't have an issue with it, but like I want to shoot for a different wide receiver, because he has wide receiver 2 overall upside. We've seen it, but he has 1 week in the top 20 or in the top 19. He has 1 week. And that was his wide receiver 4 week overall in week 4. And it was a great week, 20-point week and half PPR. But outside of that, wide receiver 27, wide receiver 32, wide receiver 34, wide receiver 20, wide receiver 28. He does not have the same upside that he once had. And now CMC's in the fold. So I'm trying to get a different wide receiver 1.
All right, fine. You can try for somebody else.
Yeah. Like he's not a in name only type. I'm not putting him in that category, but I mean, talking about a player whose production's tapered off.
Yeah. All right.
But
go in a different direction.
Yeah, I would. But I agree with what Nick said about you're not needing to pick up.
Well, you don't need a tight end. So yes, look to move Kmet.
Andrews is good. You don't need Likely. Mm-hmm. Iron, good to see you.
What's up, Iron?
How was that Munich game, man?
The Munich game was awesome.
Yeah, but I'm asking him, as somebody who was in Europe, experiencing his first,
well, yeah,
game
like, from not so far away. How was it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Tim Shields, you have the second waiver claim in your other league. Do you pick up Watson or White? I would pick up White first over Watson unless you really need a wide receiver, in which case Watson is fine. But I would really advocate for White. Yeah. Tony Kamaj, good to see you. Who should be the number 1 waiver claim? Pacheco, Warren, or Watson?
Depends on what you need. Do you need a wide receiver? Then Watson. Could you use a running back? Then Pacheco.
Yeah.
Warren's 3rd.
Yep. But Warren and Pacheco are pretty close. But Pacheco, he's getting you points now. Warren, who has gotten you 9 points in back-to-back weeks and have PPR. But
yeah. Pacheco finished with 82 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire finished without a touch.
Yeah. That's all you need to know. George Cook, good to see you. Holy
What's up,
shit,
George?
You're in a pickle. You're 6-4, tied for second with 5 other
wild.
teams.
All right.
That's awesome.
It's a crazy year.
That's cool.
Crazy year for your league.
Yeah, man.
It's fun when those types of things happen.
Yeah, enjoy the fact that it's all up in the air at this point.
Yeah.
Keep pushing. You already own Burrow. Do you trade Fields, Dameon Pierce, and AJ Brown for CMC, CeeDee Lamb? AJ Brown has not given you the best box score three times this year. You can't expect a wide receiver to be consistent 100% of the time. Very few wide receivers can do that over the course of a full year. And you knew when you drafted AJ Brown that these you had to expect some bust games because he's playing in a run-first offense with an already entrenched, very good wide receiver in his own right in Devonta Smith. But Zach Ertz is gone, right?
Yeah.
So do you trade Fields and Pierce and AJ Brown for CMC and CeeDee Lamb? Like, I'm trying to keep Fields right now. He's coming off of
I would trade
almost
Burrow
back.
Instead.
Yeah, I would trade Burrow. I'm trying to keep Fields. He's coming
Burrow
off
instead.
of a QB 1 week, and he just had a QB 1 week like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's Fields is like
Fields is your QB 1.
Maybe has catapulted himself into a top 5 quarterback finish on the season.
Yeah.
Like, he's on absolute fire right now. And again, we just kind of mentioned it at the top of the show. Make of this what you will. We can look into this a little bit farther, but Jamar Chase, it doesn't sound like he's, returning just yet. He was seen still on crutches. That could mean a variety of things. But if Burrow's going to be without his top option, Burrow's the quarterback I'm trading, and Fields is the one I'm keeping.
Yep. As for upgrading from Dameon Pierce to CMC, / depending on how you view it, AJ Brown to CeeDee Lamb.
And CeeDee Lamb, yeah.
I'm okay doing it, but keep in mind that AJ Brown is stepping into a larger workload now that with no Dallas Goedert, who'd been a target monster over the past few weeks. And CMC is now splitting work with Elijah Mitchell, who got 18 rush attempts to his 14. Now, I know CMC picks up passing down work, but it's not the workload we projected for CMC or Elijah Mitchell.
CeeDee Lamb, as always, looking, Graham Barfield has the stats. Since Dak returned from injury, CeeDee Lamb's been lining up in the slot 60% of the time. 17 of his 28 targets have come there. He's averaging 3.75 yards per route run behind only Justin Jefferson, and he has absolutely popped off with Dak's return. And that's with a healthy Dalton Schultz in the picture. I'm doing this deal. Burrow, Dameon
If it's
Pierce,
Burrow,
AJ Brown
yes.
to acquire,
If it's Fields, no.
and CeeDee Lamb, yeah.
If it's Burrow, yes. If it's Fields, no.
That's
where I stand on it.
Yeah, but I'm doing this trade. Yep.
Yeah, what? Iron? That's wild. That's wild. I'm glad you enjoyed the experience. Hurt Pierce's production? Nah, I'm not worried about it.
Nah.
And do you start Fields over Hurts now? In that situation, you are trying to trade if your deadline is not closed yet. Yeah, like you're basically shipping offers for either, because I'd be content rolling with either. So it's who's ever willing to pay the highest price for either of these guys gets it, and then you just ride into the playoffs with whichever QB1 you still have. But as far as who do you start, I mean,
Fields this week against the Falcons.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Hurts against Indianapolis is a little bit less appealing, but it's still not a bad matchup either.
It's fine, but Fields against Atlanta.
Yeah, but honestly, try to move one of them.
Sure.
Christian Nova, Pacheco, Christian Watson, Campbell, Slayton, all there. Brian Robinson, 2. Pacheco, 1. Christian Watson, 2. And then depending on what you need, the rest of the other wide receiver or running back. He needed a receiver
more. He's Jones and Eckler.
Yeah.
So, Watson, 1.
Yeah.
And then Pacheco. And then Slayton, and then Campbell.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, you said B-Rob, too.
B-Rob's in there, but,
Watson,
I guess. For me, it's between whether or not you need a second wide receiver in Campbell, Slayton, or B-Rob. I'd rather go wide receiver there. But, I mean, Pacheco and Watson, 1-2. Get those guys. Tony Kamaj, if I own Lamar and Fields, do I look to trade one of them? Deshaun is still out there. Who's more valuable rest of season, Pacheco or B-Rob? Pacheco. And,
Pacheco.
Yeah, pick up Peoples-Jones, even if you own Amari.
Yes. And yes, you got to,
and trade one of them quarterbacks, man.
See who wants who. Do you want Lamar? Do you want Fields? You can get a good offer for either one.
Yeah. And shout out to Nemo in the Zombie League and our members only Zombie League for becoming
we lost. We're winning his first game. Yeah, I have it in the ticker going around. Congrats to Nemo. So it's on there. Nemo. Congrats to you, man. If you're in here. Yeah.
You're in here.
We lost. We are zombies. We can work the waiver wire now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
And we can trade with Nemo. We can't trade with anybody else.
Chaka, should I trade away Gabe Davis for Foreman PPR? I think I would.
If you need a running back, sure.
Yeah, he's more consistent, and he has basically a similar ceiling coming off of a 20-point week. He has a 30-point week in there. He's one of their most consistent weapons. Since coming into the fold, he has one
receiver and loaded at running back, then don't do it. But if you have good receivers and could use a running back, then yeah.
Yeah. Yep. DJ Duvernay, good to see you. You taking a shot at Trey McBride's off of waivers with Evan Ingram on bye. There are worse options, but there are better options.
Dude, Komet and Moreau are both available. Both are better options than Trey McBride.
In terms of who to go with over like Komet or Moreau, I think I go Komet with the edge.
It's Komet and then
Moreau.
Yeah. Trey McBride is not over either of those guys just because he now jumps into a starting opportunity. We got to also see if Kyler's even going to play.
Yeah. So go get Komet, man. Go get Komet.
Yeah,
Mike Lopez, good to see you.
What's up, Mike?
Elout, Ertz will be missed. What about picking up Njoku? Sure. Again, gets a QB upgrade very soon.
DJ also asked about AJ Brown.
My bad. I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
Any concern about him?
No. Not at all. Not at all. Either of them. I'm not concerned about either.
The Eagles played poorly last night. They had a bad game. They have, they've earned the benefit of the doubt, though, expecting to see them perform better than they did last night because we've seen them perform at a high level all year, and AJ's been a big part of that. They just had a bad game last night.
Yep.
They didn't play well, and that happens. It just happens. Teams have bad games. Players have bad games, So
no Dallas Goedert moving forward, so AJ Brown should be fine. And I'm not concerned about ETN in the slightest.
I'm not worried about ETN even a little bit. Less than AJ Brown. AJ Brown is not impervious or immune to down games. He's not. But in no scenario are you taking him out of your lineup.
No. Still a wide receiver one any given week. In terms of D-Hop, no, I'm not concerned about when Hollywood comes back because, again, no Ertz. Right.
Yeah. Rondale's been eaten, but, this team, I know James Conner had a good game this past week with 2 touchdowns, but they've struggled to run the ball. They're going to have to continue to throw. So I'm not worried about any of these receivers.
Nope. No, Hollywood's ceiling is not going to be what it was early in the year, but we always knew that.
Yeah, we knew that.
I'm not concerned about any of them.
But I think you can feel better about Hollywood now than maybe some people did when they drafted him at the beginning of the season. They were drafting him at the beginning of the season thinking, okay, this is going to be an early dude for me, and then we'll see in the second half of the year. As it turns out, I would say his floor is higher now than people were maybe concerned about a few months ago.
And Tim, pick up Watson, pick up Moreau. I don't think you need Campbell. You said you want to pick up Elijah Mitchell. Pick up Elijah Mitchell. White is available too. Watson, Moreau.
So yeah, drop your Jets running backs. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drop
you
your
got
Jets
an IR spot, like
that's for Chase. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Elijah Mitchell, Watson, Moreau if you need him.
Yeah, it all depends on what your team needs, and you need a tight end because you have Goddard. So,
yep. But I would be trying to emphasize getting White on your squad. So I mean, I would drop one of the Jets running backs for White.
Moreau might need to be your top claim, but then White.
Yep.
Unless you think Moreau will go unclaimed, then White first, and then grab Moreau like first thing after waivers.
I would go White first, then Moreau.
Yeah,
people are going to prioritize the running back over the tight end.
Yeah, that's fine. Even though he's on bye this week.
Yep. Still.
Yeah. Okay. The Bucks do not play this week. They are on bye as they return from Germany.
Yep.
Along with the Seahawks. But yeah, Rachaad White is still a high priority waiver claim, despite the fact that he's not playing this week.
Absolutely. Then Iron, yeah, that's cool to see. That's cool to see. They kept singing 1 hour after the game. Yo, that's dope. Know the party out there.
The Germans are chill.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope it becomes a regular thing. I hope it becomes a regular thing. Yeah.
They have been praised this week regularly for how they showed up for that game.
Yep.
So, it's cool to see.
Definitely. Shout out. Blue Crew, trade away Mostert for Jacoby Myers. No.
It depends. I mean, how badly do you need a wide receiver?
Or who else is on your bench? Who's on waivers?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Jacoby Myers, an equivalent wide receiver, can probably be had on waivers. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Christian Watson.
I mean, generally speaking, if I end up with a full backfield, I'm either keeping it or I'm trading the whole thing away. I don't want to break it up in the event of injuries. Right. The chance of an injury means that at the expense of a roster spot, you gain a potential bell cow.
And Jeff Wilson hasn't, been a guy that has been relied upon to be a workhorse for an entire year, and basically he's been a workhorse for an NFL team for an entire year at this point.
Yeah.
And he's 27 in his own right. So I mean, we could see an injury for a 27-year-old running back. I hope not, because he's been playing really well, career year for him. But yeah, I would try to pick up somebody from waivers and drop somebody and keep somebody else and keep the tandem that you have there. And D. Lenny, you stashed Watson. That's what's up.
That's
what's up.
There you go. That's how it's done.
Yo, that's dope. Would have been cooler if the Bills would have won. But that's dope. I gotta bring up that game, man. Come on.
That was it was a great game.
I mean, for my first Bills game ever, it was a game.
Yeah.
But that one hurts, man. It still hurts.
Sorry about the Bills. I know it's probably not a whole lot of a consolation, but you attended the game of the season.
I mean, it was cool to be there and enjoy Bills Mafia beforehand in the parking lot a little bit. You know, I was there with my dad, so that was dope. But like, thought we were gonna win that game, dude. And it was some craziness as to why we didn't, but
it was a little nuts.
Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league, and it's not close. I'm sorry, dude. Like, it's not close. Did you see some of the catches he made?
I saw them. I saw all of them, including
like he's the best receiver in the league, and I'm sorry, it's not close.
He's
for me.
Nuts.
He's the most talented wide receiver in the league.
He's nuts.
Yeah. But regardless, it was fun. But Iron, that's dope. That's dope.
That's
I'm glad.
awesome.
I'm glad that's happening in places other than the United States. People are enjoying this game outside of the U.S. It's real cool to see. King Marcelo.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah, it's awesome.
King Marcelo, who should I get with my waiver claim? Need a wide receiver boom this week. Go get Isaiah, man.
I mean, Pacheco is the more talented player. It is fair to call out that as much as, I prefer Pacheco, but for this week, Robinson does get the Houston Texans, and they are getting run on by everybody. I'll just say that. That being said, I still would probably pick up Pacheco. But I would be fine also if you I don't know if somebody else is higher in the waiver priority and likely to grab Pacheco. Robinson isn't a bad fallback option, so put claims in for both of them. Because at least Robinson has a pretty good matchup this week. And by pretty good, I mean great.
Only one running back all season has had more of a snap share for the Chiefs than Pacheco has had in last week's game, and that was Jerick McKinnon in Week 9.
I admitted it. I'm still picking up Pacheco first, but put the claim in for Robinson too.
But Pacheco for sure. If Pacheco is on any of your wires, for everybody that's listening, go and pick him up.
Yeah.
Go and pick him up. Yep. And Iron, did we get to your Eno and Fields question above? Let me look. I'm sorry if we did miss it.
I thought we got to it. Well, we said Eno. Yeah, we did.
We said Eno, no.
Production, no.
And to Fields over Hurts, we said to trade one of those guys.
You got to try to trade one, Iron.
But it is Fields for now.
Yeah, you got to try to trade one.
But definitely try to trade him. Yep.
Yeah, you got to try to trade one.
Yeah. Tim, would you trade Deontay for Boyd straight up? Wow, we are there. I mean,
I don't think I could bring myself to do it, but I'm sure there are some people who could.
Get a little more thrown in, and yes, that's where I'm at. Like,
you should still be able to
Deontay's
ask
a
more.
name recognition at this point. Like
and you can still say Boyd is we don't. It might be a little later than expected, but Chase is expected to come back.
But yeah, I mean, you can get a little bit more. I think. Try to just where you weak at and pick up a bench running back from the squad or something. But I'm fine doing this because Boyd is going to give you more than Deontay on a week-to-week basis. That's clear. And Deontay's wide receiver 3 and 4 every week. Wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Yeah, I mean he doesn't have one wide receiver 2 week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would do it. Just get a little more. King Marcelo, do I trust Dallas defense this week or should I go Washington at the Texans?
Who are the Cowboys playing?
They are playing. I'd go Cowboys at Minnesota. I know Minnesota put up a great game last week.
I don't want to touch that. Play Washington against Davis Mills.
It's at Minnesota.
Yeah, play Washington. They're playing Davis Mills. No disrespect to Davis Mills. He's probably a nice guy. He is horrific. He's not good.
How has the Washington defense been?
They have a good pass rush. They showed it off last night. The Vikings are cruising right now and feeling themselves. I'm not playing. I don't want to play a defense against them.
Look at Washington D. In the last 4 weeks have been really good.
Washington.
Yeah, Washington.
Yep, not close.
Cool with it.
And it's not Dallas. I don't want to play a team that has to go play the Vikings right now in their house. They're on fire.
I mean, it's a little bit misleading.
Sure,
with the Vikings because
I don't
like
disagree,
there was one play for Dalvin Cook where he got all of his fantasy points and Justin Jefferson went off, but pretty much nobody else did.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the fact of the matter is,
but I would rather. Yeah, I would.
But it doesn't matter.
Rather Washington after.
Yeah, Washington.
I'm not staying away from a Vikings matchup, but I would rather Washington seeing what Washington's done over the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, this week I am.
Yep.
Because they're feeling themselves.
And Butker or Nick Folk, you got an answer there?
I'll have to. I gotta look into that, King. I haven't done my kicker research yet. Like Butker is on the road in LA, so no weather concerns there. That's probably pretty favorable. Probably what I would prefer. Nick Folk against the Jets at home is also like a good situation. I would have to do a little bit of homework on that. Both are in good spots,
And Tony has the same dilemma with the Dallas defense. Go get Baltimore for sure. Baltimore is more valuable than Dallas rest of season, but if you don't have Baltimore out there, after this week where they're playing Minnesota, Dallas plays the Giants, the Colts, Houston, the Jaguars, Philly, and then the Titans in the championship. So they have a very good schedule rest of season, but I would still rather have Baltimore.
Yeah.
And D. Linney, Buffalo's expected to get 3 to 6 feet of snow this weekend. Then I went to the right game on the right weekend, because I would not want to see that. That'd be wild. But the Cleveland game, you know what happens in snow games? Running backs run all over. So maybe if in your DFS lineups, try to find a way to get Devin Singletary.
Yeah. Cleveland gives up points to everybody.
Yeah. Kevin Valentine, what it do? Do you think Kyler plays this week?
I mean, he's coming off a hamstring injury.
I don't know. We can't say yet. We need to wait for that.
We'll see. We'll see. We got to see how practice reports go, and it would be concerning if he didn't play. Let's put it that way, because the Cardinals don't have a bye until week 13. That's 2 weeks away. If he doesn't play this week, he's not going to play next week either. So, yeah, we'll see. But let's put it this way, if he doesn't practice Wednesday, I'm gearing up as if I'm not going to have Kyler until week 14.
There you go.
So we'll see.
And we got a trade question from YXA Joy. Should I trade CMC, Mike Evans, and Lockett for Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook? I don't think I want to do that, man.
It's fair, but I don't think I feel like I'm giving up more. I feel like I'm the one who's giving up more.
If Lockett wasn't doing what he's been doing this past season, which is, he's the wide receiver 11 and has been as consistent as pretty much any wide receiver out there. He has only 3 weeks on the year where he hasn't scored 10 points. I'm not doing this. Love Justin Jefferson, but I'm not doing this. Greg Z, good to see you. Happy Tuesday. You're in a rough running back. You're in a tough running back.
He's in a bad
1
spot.
week this year or this week. Travis, Lenny, Jeff Wilson, Mostert on bye. You got Brian Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco, Gus, Dillon, and Hendo. Isaiah, man.
Yeah, Pacheco.
Yep.
It's a good matchup for Pacheco, and I think they're giving him work. They're giving him all the work. Well, they're not giving him all the work, but the other one who's getting work is Jerick McKinnon, who is a third down pass down back. Yeah, Pacheco.
Yep. And your camera just turned off.
We're good.
Word. And Aaron, that's dope. You're doing best balls in the middle of the season. Good luck. Tony, would you
drop the link in the Discord? I was like,
oh,
that's all you.
Respect, though.
Yeah, those are tough to play. They're tough to play,
Yeah, the talent pool you got to choose from is rough. Tony Kamaj, would you rather play James Robinson or Brian Robinson Jr. this week as your running back 2?
I mean, probably just Brian because they're playing Houston, and I don't know what
It's Pacheco over Brian Robinson, but then Brian Robinson over James Robinson.
Yeah.
And Greg Z for a flex this week: Gabe Davis, Christian Watson, DPJ, or Slayton.
Gabe. As long as the weather's not too bad. I mean, we'll keep an eye on the weather reports, and we'll go from there, Greg. Like let's see what the weather looks like in Buffalo on Sunday. If it looks like it's, swirling snow and wind, then DPJ. But otherwise, Gabe. Oh, right. Sorry. You have Christian Watson who's playing on Thursday. I would still play Gabe over Christian Watson. Therefore, I'm willing to wait on Gabe. And if I have to pivot to DPJ, then so be it. Oh, he's in the same game. Damn it. Who are the Giants playing?
The Giants are playing.
Happy to help with this,
the
Greg.
Lions. The Giants are playing the Lions.
The start-sit questions are a little tough to answer, right? Because I haven't looked at the matchups yet. But I guess this is what's going to force me to do it. Sorry. He's at home against the Lions. Yeah, I'm willing to wait on Gabe, and if I have to pivot to Slayton because the weather is bad in Buffalo, which might neutralize Gabe and DPJ, then I can pivot to Slayton. So Gabe.
Yep.
Watson's on the bench for one more week for me when I have somebody like Gabe Davis.
And D-Lenny with the advice on Dulcich. We'll see, man. We'll see about Dulcich. Wilson hasn't looked good all season.
Russ, man, I think he's shot.
But no Judy. We'll see what happens with Judy. That was another one that we missed.
Yeah.
So Greg Dulcich will pick up some of the slack there too.
Yeah. If Russ can get him the ball.
Iron Dynasty, Fields or Hurts?
Both. I mean, this
in
week
that
play
situation,
Fields.
I want to hold both of them.
In that situation, just hold them both.
Yeah.
Yup. But this week, I love Hurts, but this week Fields is playing the Falcons, and he's on a heater right now. So Fields.
Yeah. Greg Z for tight end. You have Gerald Everett. Options are Komet and Greg Dulcich. Thoughts on for this week? I'm not gonna say Gerald Everett is droppable with the other guys coming back, because the other guys, I think it's one person. I think it's Mike Williams, and with Mike Williams, he was solid in the beginning of the season. But we need to check in on Gerald Everett's injury status because he left halfway through that game. So I'm still going Komet for this week, but I don't think Everett is droppable. I would still want to have him on my squad.
Yeah.
And D-Lenny agrees with Komet. Komet is a definite tight end streamer for the foreseeable future and could just be a TE1 moving forward because of his touchdown upside.
Cole Komet touchdown upside. The first time that sentence is allowed to be spoken into existence.
Yeah, back-to-back weeks as a tight end one.
I know. It's just,
We're there.
First touchdown. I'm happy for it. Hey, it's happened.
It comes at you quick. There you go.
Officially say it.
Cole Komet.
Couldn't say it last year. Couldn't say it this offseason. Couldn't say it 6 weeks in either. There you go.
And D-Lenny, all right. Washington defense going to have them back soon. So, I mean, you can roll with them this week against Houston and then see what happens moving forward. Yeah.
They got a good pass rush even without Chase Young. So whatever he can give them is gravy. Yep.
And Greg Z, I think that's Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
Not Tyler.
So you're playing Mariota if you have to pivot.
Yep.
You're playing Mariota if you have to pivot. It'll be gross.
And blurry face, real easy. Eagles defense rest of the season.
Well, I don't know that it's real easy because that run defense looks leaky. Yes, they're still playing well.
But over Jets and Cowboys, dude. You're playing the Eagles.
They picked up a sack and a couple of turnovers last night against Heineke. They still have favorable schedules. I'd be a little worried. I'm a little worried about them this week, though, because their run defense isn't playing well, and they're going up against Jonathan Taylor. So I'm a little worried about them this week. That being said, I don't want to play the Cowboys or the Jets either this week. Cowboys against the Vikings, Jets on the road in New England.
Eagles.
I guess the Eagles. Maybe I do want to play the Jets this week. Patriots don't scare anybody on offense.
No, they
Rest
don't.
of season, Eagles. This week, I might actually say Jets.
And that's coming from an Eagles fan, so you'd really know. You really know.
Yeah. I don't shit around with my well, I might be wrong, but you're getting an unbiased opinion.
There you go. Mark Yosko, I would pick up Foster Moreau.
Yes. Moreau over Conklin, Moreau over Knox. Knox did almost catch a touchdown, but almost is only good enough in horseshoes and hand grenades.
And he was responsible for another one of the interceptions. Daniel Maroc need a tight end this week. I would go Komet, man. Komet is the streamer of the week for tight ends.
Ride that wave. And it's
keep going back to Komet.
Matchup.
Yep.
Beautiful matchup against the Falcons.
Yep. Now, if you can't get Komet,
Njoku
because he's getting he's a multi-week play with Deshaun Watson coming back soon.
Yeah. And your third option is whatever tight end is playing the Cardinals. Who's Arizona got this week?
And I'm pretty sure D. Linney is Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter. He's got all the updates for us. Vikings defense has been solid and has soft matchups to target rest of season. Yeah. There you go. And the Rams lost their left tackle and right guard for the season. Yes, they did.
To target. Yeah, their offense is one to target.
Yeah.
Who's Arizona get this week? Oh, San Francisco. Okay, so George Kittle's going to be the tight end one on the week.
Ha.
Yeah, so there you go.
Alex Watts, good to see you. Hey, from England. Hey, respect. How do you rate these guys rest of season? Tony, Nico Collins, Josh Palmer, and OBJ.
That order. That exact order.
Yeah.
Tony, yep. I like Nico Collins. I do. And he had a nice game this past week. Caught a touchdown, but he's still in a significantly worse offense than Tony is in. Tony's catching passes from Patrick Mahomes. Nico Collins is catching passes from a dude who's going to be a backup next year. But he's a solid player and a starter. Rest of season. Josh Palmer could go back to the wide receiver 3 role if Keenan Allen is ever able to get healthy, which makes him number 3 for me. Like you said, rest of season. Odell Beckham has to be 4th just because he hasn't been signed yet. I don't know his opportunity, what it's going to be, or where he's even at in his recovery.
There you go.
That's all I got.
And is Fournette dead rest of season?
No.
Need a running back too? Can he fill that hole? He's not. I don't know if he's a running back too, because I think Rachaad White and it's been speculated on in fantasy news and stuff that Rachaad White is the guy moving forward and will be the guy coming out of their bye after next week. But Fournette will not be dead because he still has some pass catching upside even if he's forced into more of a satellite role.
And he's not expected to miss a game, even though he exited the London game or the Munich game, with a hip injury.
No,
he might miss this week if they were playing, but they're on bye.
Yeah,
so he's probably not going to miss any time.
Look at the Washington offense with Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. I think Brian Robinson might be the new Rachaad White. I mean, we thought of him as more of a pass catcher, but he didn't have any targets. I don't think, or didn't catch any passes last week, and he had 22 rushes. So he is a more electric Brian Robinson at this point. And Leonard Fournette is going to be playing kind of an Antonio Gibson-esque role.
Yeah.
So, no, he's not dead rest of the season. But
no, he's not
I don't
dead.
think you should be expecting a high-end RB2 value moving forward. More of a mid-tier.
I think you can expect, it might be kind of clunky.
Yeah.
Clunky RB2 value, if that makes sense.
Joe Longwheel. Should I trade Hurts, Waddle, and Mike Will for Diggs, Geno, and Olave? No. Because Mike Will's coming back, and Hurts is still a top 4 quarterback, and Waddle is a top 8 wide receiver right now. So, no, I wouldn't do that.
Diggs and Waddle are both high-end wide receiver 1s. Diggs gets the slightest of edges.
I would much rather Hurts over Geno and Mike Will now that he's healthy over Olave.
I guess it honestly looks kind of fair, but I don't. But I could talk myself out of the trade. Therefore, I don't think I'm gonna make it.
You have your Lamar on your bench, so you don't need Hurts as bad.
Oh, well then don't don't ask for Geno. Ask for something else.
Cool with that. Yep.
Don't ask for Geno. Ask for another player.
Yeah, because you don't necessarily need
or a wide receiver, Joe.
Right.
Because again, to your point, you don't. Not only do you not, if Lamar is the dude that you're set. You could make an argument that you should move forward with either one of those guys. But if the guy you want to move forward with is Lamar, then flip Hurts for something other than another backup quarterback.
I would swap them and
you would keep Hurts?
Yeah, I would keep Hurts over Lamar. Yeah.
Real quick, everybody, congratulate Nemo. Welcome to Zombie Land.
Congratulations, Nemo. Respect, man. We're shouting you out in the ticker on stream.
Yeah, you might have to wait a little bit, but
there you go.
You're in the right ticker. Now. Congrats on Stefon Diggs being handed to you on a silver platter, but
yes,
also you earned it by nature of the rules of the Zombie League. It's pretty cool. Well, for you. Not as much for us.
Hopefully you can string together a few weeks,
fun,
man.
Though.
Yeah, now that you got Stefon Diggs, hopefully you can string together a few weeks.
Well, hopefully we can string together a win or two,
our team is bad now. Like, it's legit.
We're in pretty bad shape. We're in pretty bad shape, but we can use the waiver wire. And now it's on us to also try to contribute to because if we win, we can do the zombie thing to somebody else. So
there you go.
Now I'm like, let's go Zombie League. I really care about my zombie team because I want to get a good player because I need to get one back for losing Stefon Diggs. So,
and
anyway.
Ray, and again Nemo, shout out for being a member. Much respect.
Yeah, shout out for
8 months. That's awesome. Keeping the lights on in here. And Ray, how do you feel about Aaron Jones for Stevenson? I think I want Aaron Jones.
No, sir. No.
Aaron Jones.
If I'm getting Aaron Jones, yes. If you're trading away, yes. If you're trading Ramondre Stevenson for Aaron Jones, yes.
Yes.
If you are giving up Aaron Jones for Ramondre Stevenson, I'm saying no.
And Greg Z, that is where we are. I don't care
about Jones. I don't care about Jones's playoff schedule because the Cowboys had a good run defense coming into Sunday, and he killed them.
Cadillac, you should hold on to Connor. I mean, his workload is solidified, and now he's healthy.
Dude.
Yeah,
he's their dude.
No, Eno Benjamin means his role is solidified. Charlie Fields, LC. If Keenan Allen and Mike Williams play, do I start Nico Collins or Slayton over Palmer?
Slayton, he's the Giants wide receiver 1 right now, and he's playing well.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I think he saw another 80. Let me double check his snaps. Told a couple people to start Slayton going into last week while you were off on your family trip. Slayton played another 80% of the snaps this past week against Houston, leading Giants wide receivers. Like, giddy up. Yes. If Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, or even just Mike Williams, are back this week for the Chargers, yes, I'm playing Slayton over Palmer.
And there you have it. I would have to agree. Tim, 2 receiver full PPR. Connor Gibson at running back. Gibbs Dibson.
Gibbs and Dibson.
Diggs and Wilson. Would you flex Deontay or Watson? Deontay, if you are cool with the floor. Watson, if you want any sort of a ceiling. And I'd probably just advocate for Watson.
But don't put Thursday Night Football players in the flex spot. Put them in the wide receiver. Put them in. If you play Watson because you want the upside, put them in a wide receiver spot. Always put everybody always put your Thursday Night Football players in a positional spot, not the flex spot. Maintain flexibility, pun intended.
And George, Burrow, Brown, and Pierce for CD and CMC.
All right. Oh,
I mean, I'm still
Burrow,
doing it.
AJ Brown, yes,
I'm still doing
yes.
it. Still doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. Still doing
it.
That's probably why the guy is comfortable trading away CMC right now, is because of this Mitchell news. So do it. Capitalize.
Right. Capitalize on this smoke and mirror news. I mean, no disrespect to Elijah Mitchell, but this is Christian McCaffrey we're talking about. This man is not going to be in a 50-50 split with anybody.
Yeah, just do it. And David Banks, it depends on your league settings and what your commissioner set up. I mean, I would talk to your league commission. I would talk to your league and your commissioner about having trades just go through, because honestly, if one adult and another adult, as long as there's no collusion, come to an agreement to trade one player or two players or whatever for another set of players, it's two adults coming to an agreement, and like it is what it is. Lots of times you make a trade week 2, everybody hates on it, but in week 12 that deal looks, opposite the way everybody thought it would. So I don't think anybody should have to vote on a trade, but it depends on what you have set up. But I would talk to your league mates and your commissioner about supporting free will on trading and fantasy.
As long as there's no obvious collusion.
Right.
Which, if that's the case, then you either kick those people out, or I would just leave the league outright. But as long as there's no collusion, as long as there's no collusion, like John said, if there are two people who come to an agreement and side A likes what they are getting and side B likes what they are getting, the only opinions that matter are the two people in that trade. I don't mean any personal offense or anything like that, but I can't if your league allows the league input on trades that they're not involved in, and trades get vetoed even once or twice a season, I want no part of a league like that. I'm sorry.
We've kind of been there, done that with leagues like that. We've tried it out with our own leagues, and it's just, we came to the conclusion that it was just, we're all adults.
Not how it should go.
And yeah, if somebody wants to make a bad trade and somebody else can capitalize on that, then all the better for them. But yeah.
Live and learn.
Yep. George, who's asking a question. Cadillac.
Oh,
there you go. Ask two. Jets defense or Bills defense? Tim Shields.
Who's Buffalo playing this week? Oh,
Cleveland in 3 to 6 inches
Buffalo,
of snow.
In a bounce back game, the Bills.
Or Jets versus Patriots.
That is a favorable spot, but they are on the road, so I'll lean the home team.
You know what? It almost depends, because the Bills' defense is really banged up. That's why they've lost their last 2 games. It's because the offense is really banged up, or the defense rather. So if they don't have a Trey White coming back, if they don't have Trey Edmonds coming back, if they don't have Poyer playing, then I'm saying the Jets, because it is a favorable matchup, and the Bills defense is a shell of itself at this point right now with how many injuries they have. Yeah. They need to get healthy before I can trust them. So I'm going Jets. Jesus Christ to the league. Gabe Davis or Michael Pittman rest of season. Matt Ryan came back to play. So they're kind of even for me. Gabe Davis, boom bust. Michael Pittman.
Because assuming Ryan is back as the guy.
Yeah, I mean, Pittman had a good target share last week.
Yeah, as long as Pittman is the guy, or as long as Matt Ryan is back, then Pittman is the guy I'd rather have.
Yeah. Greg Z, defense question. You have KC and you are considering Denver, Cincy, Jets, Giants, Steelers, Washington. You're torn. Giants and Washington matchups look good. And Pittsburgh with Watt back.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that with the Bengals just because Watt is
Washington.
back. I would go Washington against Houston just because Davis Mills is a guy worth targeting.
And Alec Pierce, would you drop Palmer and OBJ for Collins and Tony? I would drop OBJ for Tony.
And I would drop Palmer for Collins.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But I guess I wouldn't do it yet. I wouldn't do it yet because Brandon Staley can say all he wants. I don't believe anything he says. because he's been calling Keenan Allen day to day since like week 3. So the fact that he said that Allen and Williams are practicing this week literally means nothing to me. So I'll hold on to Palmer for now. But dropping OBJ for Tony, yes.
There you go. And David, that's a crazy deal.
That's that's collusion. That's collusion.
Yeah.
And it's your first time playing. Okay, first of all,
that's not even. Hang on. It does not sound like collusion, but it's such a.
Yes,
this must be everybody's first time playing.
Yeah,
this guy is giving you JT for Darius Slayton. It sounds like everybody's first experience playing fantasy.
Yeah.
So you don't really have a frame of reference. I don't think this is collusion. This is just the worst trade I've ever seen in my life.
I have to call in your favor by that
right
definition, though.
Yeah. I mean, so everybody has a right to be freaking out.
Yeah, this. I would be upset about that, David. First of all, welcome.
But it
don't feel like
collusion.
Hang on.
And by definition.
Hang on. First of all, welcome to fantasy football.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. And you should absolutely play next year. But it sounds like there's a learning curve here, and that's okay. But
there is for everybody. Yeah. Right.
But this trade is too steep to have made, and I see you commented below that you ended up accepting the trade. Look, if it's everybody's first experience, and you let me know or let us know, is it everybody's first experience or is it just yours? Because if it's yours, then it's on the league to have, maybe given you a little bit more in the form of like tips and tricks and all that type of stuff, maybe some advice. But if everybody's new to this,
I'm not
if
saying
everybody's
it's not your fault if somebody wants to give you JT for Slayton.
Hang on. If like you said, if it's everybody's first time, then you kind of have to eat this as a learning experience and move forward. If it's your first time, then you can't be the one that everybody's upset at. Then the league needs to look inward and be like, how did we let this happen? Right? That's how it should, that's how they should view it. Nobody should be upset at you if it's your first time playing and you did this, especially when you were the one who was offered the trade.
Yeah, that's where I'm saying
this is pretty lopsided.
Yeah, nobody should be getting mad at you for any reason. Because none of this is your fault. You were offered a deal. Somebody else wants to make a bad move. If anything, they should be angry at the person that offered the deal or wants to trade away JT.
Right.
Shouldn't be mad at you. And it doesn't sound like collusion. If you're offered this crazy deal and you take it, that's not collusion. That's the price of the game if you're playing with somebody who's less experienced than even you right now, David. So you accepted it. Just let it ride. But everybody in your league should use it as a learning experience and make more informed decisions.
Right.
But this is not, don't point the finger at you.
Yep. We'll get there.
Yep. And D. Linney helping out. With much respect, D. Linney. Ash Gaming, is this a fair trade? I give Swift and Diggs and get Hopkins and Chubb. Yes.
Yeah. I'd rather have Hopkins and Chubb.
Yeah.
Swift is not it this year.
Yep. And I mean, Diggs and Hopkins are basically giving you the same amount of fantasy points right now. So.
Yep.
Yep.
Chubb is a big upgrade over Swift. So, yeah.
And George Cook filling us in a little bit more.
Oh, if he Fields, Lamb.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm doing that trade.
Do it.
Yes. Smash, yes.
Yeah.
Smash, yes. I think we're down to we're down to Cadillac.
Fields and Lamar. I think you sell Lamar and keep rolling with Fields.
Oof.
You can get more for Lamar, and you can get similar fantasy production from Fields.
You should be able to get more for Lamar based off of name recognition. Yeah, you should.
And Fields, I mean, I don't think his fantasy production is going anywhere. So I'm trading because they're comparable, but one can get you more. I'm trading the one, I'm selling high on the one that can get me more, and keep on rolling with the guy that is basically the same player but younger.
Yeah.
Carter DeGraff, Patterson or Foreman this week? That's legitimately tough.
Patterson, he's playing the Bears. Foreman's on the road against Baltimore. This might be the only week. I did say this last week because I got a question about Foreman rest of season. It looks like he's going to be an RB2, but it's possible he zeros for you if the Panthers get blown out early, which can't be ruled out because they're still not a good team. They are on the road in Baltimore this week. This might be the last week where you have to have like a little bit of concern about Foreman. So if I have Patterson this week against the Bears at home in a revenge game, I'm playing Patterson. But rest of season, after this week, I'm probably firing up Foreman.
Fair enough.
But
Fair
this
enough.
week,
I'd agree with that.
But this week, Patterson.
And Alex Watts, PPR, Foreman or Hubbard moving forward. Foreman is the clear RB1.
And it's not a question.
Yeah.
Hubbard is a drop if you have him.
Yeah. Yep. Daggers, hold Terrace Marshall.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, if you can swap him out for a Christian Watson, if you can swap him out for a Rashad White, I would. But if you can't get one of those guys, if you can't get an Isaiah Pacheco even, I would hold. Because if he's still available right now, I would want all four of those guys over him, but then I would still want him as the fourth option.
Yeah.
And yeah, David, I mean, you don't know the guy, and he asked for a trade, so it's not on
Whatever.
you.
It's on
I
that
would
guy.
have pressed accept in that, but I would have looked at him funny, like, are you sure you want to do this first? But I mean,
if you're a seasoned vet, then in good faith, even in good faith, you can't take that trade. Like if I got offered that by somebody I didn't, who I knew hadn't played before, well, I guess if I have any type of experience, I'm not ever making that offer. But if I received that offer right now today, I'm not taking it because I can't in good faith. So, but you didn't know. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of the opinion that like if he sent you the trade and you're playing with a bunch of adults, then I'm fine accepting the trade because it was put on the table by somebody else. Now, if there are veto rules in place that are clearly specified and those go into effect, then that's another thing. But if somebody offers me a lopsided deal in my favor, I'm not gonna say no, but I am gonna look at him funny for doing it. Like, why are you offering me JT for Slayton? That's crazy. Do you know what you're doing? But yeah, I don't think you should be catching flack for that. Yeah, Delaney, CMC has too much upside in Shanahan's offense. Even if Elijah Mitchell is not, is eaten to his role to some extent. CMC. TX 416, is Christian Watson worth getting? I'd be playing him ahead of Mooney.
Who are you dropping?
I'm playing him ahead of Mooney on speculation.
You're playing him ahead of Mooney?
He has more. If I want to win a matchup, Mooney doesn't. I don't think Mooney has that much upside. Christian Watson, we've seen that he has upside. Mooney will give you a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 floor. He has 1 week above wide receiver 23. And that was a wide receiver 15 finish, where he had 7 receptions, 43 yards, and a touchdown. Happened to score a touchdown. It's his only game with a touchdown. So yeah, I'd be fine playing a guy who just scored 3 over a guy who has scored 1 all year in a full-time role. Tony Kamaj, would you rather trade Aaron Jones or Travis Etienne in a trade?
Target them in a trade.
Oh, target them in a trade. You'd be giving up Higgins. Who's more valuable rest of the season? Waddle or Higgins?
Did you post your running backs earlier, Tony? By chance? You might have Fournette because he asked if he's dead. You have James. You were asking about James Robinson and B-Rob or Pacheco. All right, so I don't want to give up Higgins, but I guess I do want these guys. If I feel like I have the receiver depth, the rest of season, I
want ETN over Jones.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But I guess I'd rather have Waddle than Higgins.
Yes. Narrowly,
if it means to diversify, like to get a better running back, then yeah, I guess so.
And I'm not touching Juju rest of season, really. I think it just like Hardman being really good, and then Tony coming in and eating into what Hardman has been doing, and Hardman will come back at some point. The chance to sell Juju was, or the time to sell Juju was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when he was coming off of back-to-back touchdown scoring 100-yard weeks.
I mean, he might be fine, but
I think he's a wide receiver down for the rest of the season.
He might be down for the count for a little, for at least this week too. He picked up that nasty concussion.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, he could come back. It looked like he was maybe sort of finding his footing in this offense. But this is a bit of a step back because he might miss a week.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, he has opportunities for wide receiver 2 weeks here and there based on how his play of late. But I can't sit here and say he's a definitive wide receiver 2.
Right. Me neither. Alex Watts, would you trade Elijah Mitchell for AJ Dillon PPR? Mitchell looks more useful. I would think I'd rather have Elijah Mitchell.
I'd rather have Mitchell.
Getting similar amount of work, but Mitchell plays in a higher octane offense.
Yeah. Yeah, rather have Mitchell.
Yep. Arturo Jaimes, would you drop Curtis Samuel for Christian Watson? No.
No, not. I'm not going there yet.
Yeah, Christian Watson's been a very good wide receiver 3, which is basically what you'd be picking up in Christian Watson. But Curtis Samuel has shown upside for even more than that. Consistent upside for more than that. George Cook, number 1 team in your league. Need a roster that can compete. Yeah, I think that sets you up nice.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough to compete with a roster like that, to be honest with you, but you got to do what you got to do. So make the deal.
Yep.
Yeah. And I agree with D. Lenny. Try to do something like that. David. See, that's why they're angry at the situation, but they shouldn't be angry at you. So be prepared to, like, maybe, depending on how this league is operated, maybe you have to reverse that deal, but don't take it personally if that does happen.
Yeah.
George, you don't have Mitchell, but you have Mike Evans on your bench. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Yep.
Yeah, you're good.
David Banks, thank you very much for the super.
Oh, thanks, David.
We're very happy that you decided to join the fantasy ranks and play this game because it's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun,
especially once you get into it a few years. In your first year in, it is a learning experience, but I mean, stick with it. It's a lot of fun, and don't let this experience with whatever is going on right now in your league sour you on fantasy moving forward.
Nah. Regardless of what happens.
Yep. Rojo Fish, would you trade Jameson Williams for DJ Moore and a 23 second? I would rather have DJ Moore in a 23 second.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because DJ Moore, he's only 25 years old. And I know J-Mo is younger than that, but I'm just a DJ Moore fan.
Yeah.
Having another down year and is showing a floor of wide receiver 24. Yeah. Rather have DJ Moore in a second. Nemo, yeah, my camera is broken. My streaming camera is broken. Logged on today. Or turned on the computer today, logged on, and it wouldn't turn on for me. So it is what it is. Cody Johnson, you have Eckler, and you're going to be a playoff team. You were offered a late 2023 first, a first in 2025, Kirk and Miles by another playoff team.
Is it you were offered a late first this year, a 25 first, Kirk and Miles Sanders for Eckler? Yeah, you should take that.
You take that and run, man.
Yeah, you should take that. I mean, Eckler's awesome. He's going to be 28 next year.
Kirk has been a wide receiver 1 all year, and Miles Sanders has shown a high-end RB2 upside.
Yeah, he's shown top 15 upside.
Yeah.
He's 2 years younger.
Yep.
And you're picking up picks.
Do it.
So you're still going to have pieces that help you compete for the playoffs this year, and you're picking up draft capital.
Do it.
Yeah, I would do that trade.
And
Cody.
you're selling high on a player right when you should be selling high on said player.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yep. Carr Curtis for Tony and Watson. Depending if it's a 1 QB league and you got another quarterback you can just throw in there, then yes. I'm fine doing it.
Or unless that could be Christian Watson. Which Watson is that? 6'6"
yeah, either.
6'1". I mean, either way, I guess. Yeah,
I'm doing it for either. I'm cool.
I guess I would take the trade because Carr's not worth holding on to anyway.
In 1 QB, and in a 2 QB, if that is Deshaun Watson, then yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, D-Linney, they're in similar situations. They are similar wide receivers from a build perspective. I'd prefer DPJ on any given day.
Yeah.
Callie, welcome to the stream. How do you feel about the Thursday night defense plays this week? Hashtag strategy Thursday night. It's Titans Green Bay. I mean,
well, I'm not playing the Titans because their pass defense is leaky, and Green Bay's passing offense came to life a little bit this past week. Packers might be fine though. They have a Derrick Henry issue to deal with, but the Packers might be okay.
Yeah, when playing defenses against the Titans, they're not going to score another 2 touchdowns with Nick Westbrook-Akine. They're just not. I'd be willing to go with the Packers on Thursday night.
The Packers should be fine. Yeah. The Titans, no.
Yep. 8-man league, Cadillac, 7-3 is what your team is. Lamar and Fields, Ramondre Jacobs, D-Hop, Amon-Ra, Kelsey, Debo in the flex. Got a solid bench. Should I upgrade my running backs or wide receivers? I mean, if you're 7-3 with a team like that.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
You're good.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yep. You're good.
Yeah, you can play situationally with the running backs when Wilson comes back from his bye. You're good.
Yep. Ban Santana, would you guys trade Debo and Khalil Herbert for Najee and Goddard? If I'm desperate for running back.
He said he lost Ertz, hoping Goddard can come back and help him in the playoffs down below. He's 8-1, so this is a futures move,
right?
I guess, so to speak. Well, it's an upgrade going from Khalil Herbert to Najee. I don't know if it's an upgrade going from Debo to Najee, but I guess you're getting a consistent RB2.
Well, it's an upgrade from Herbert to Najee. Debo to Goddard should be the comparison.
I was looking at I was doing multiple looks just because those Najee and Debo are the healthy guys.
Yeah, I got you.
In this trade, you know.
Yeah.
Goddard and Herbert are kind of a wash, but also they're depending on where you. Yeah, I don't. Who are your other wide receivers, Bands?
I'm not trying to trade for Najee right now.
I mean, if I need running back depth, he's questionable.
I'm trying to get a different running back for Debo, who, yes, he's had a bad 2-game stretch, but is still healthy. And is still, technically a prime wide receiver. Can't say the same thing about Najee being a prime running back. He's not. You're trading away the best player in this deal, which is Debo. So I can't advocate to make this deal.
If you need the running back help or the running back depth, I'm okay with it. And your receivers are good. But only in that situation.
I'd try to get a different running back and what tight ends are on your waivers.
It depends on your roster makeup, basically.
Yep. Would you drop Matt Collins for? Yes, I would.
Yes. For Watson, yes.
Tony Kamaj got JT and Fournette.
And you had Khalil.
So you're trading away, or you're targeting Jones and ETN. ETN, man.
Yeah, ETN. I like both, but ETN.
Yep.
Younger and more usage. Although Jones has been getting fed the rock recently. But ETN.
And D. Lenny, I'm not going to say Christian Watson is going to be like Amon-Ra, but I do think
as far as
it
production,
could signal kind of a little bit of a focal point change in this offense now that they have unlocked him in his first game where he's gotten more than 66% of snaps. But I'm not going to say he's going to smash like Sun God did last year, because that, you can't say that. That is a what if, though. That is a what if. And Tony just had Khalil Herbert go down. Yeah, okay. All right. Go for it. Make a deal.
ETN.
Yep.
Yeah, ETN.
Liam, with rating your team, your running backs need some work, but everywhere else you're good.
I mean, on a 1 to 10, actually, the you have Keenan and Hollywood. The receivers are what needs work. I mean, trade Schultz and try to trade Zeke for a wide receiver, and then
I didn't
work
see
the waiver
CMC
wire
there.
on running backs.
Yeah.
Trade Schultz and Zeke for a wide receiver and work the waivers on running backs.
Yep.
You have some. I would honestly, admittedly, this is maybe like a 6 out of 10. Because Keenan and Hollywood have been they're hurt. You're relying on DJ Moore and Rondale Moore. I guess depends on your Herbert's been a low in QB1. Deshaun hasn't played. McCaffrey's awesome.
Yeah, you got a 5 or a 6 here, man.
7.
It needs a lot of work.
I will give him a 6 or 6.5, maybe a 7-ish. But the receivers are banged up, and I don't trust Zeke rest of season. Foreman might be able to be a wide receiver or a running back too for spurts, but Kyron Williams is an unknown. Yeah, I would be looking to move Zeke and Schultz for a wide receiver upgrade.
And I say somewhere. 5 or 6 because your quarterbacks aren't good in what looks to be a 1 QB league. Neither of them are. One's not playable right now until week 13, and the other, he's a fringe QB1 at this point, and your only stack with him hasn't been viable all season.
Herbert's been struggling.
But you do have a solid 1-2 punch at running back with CMC and Foreman.
Yeah, McCaffrey's great.
And you have Andrews, so you're not lost. It's just your quarterback, and you need better quarterback play, and you need better wide receivers, and your running back depth is hurting. So I can't give you an endorsement, really, a glowing endorsement on this team. It needs work. Make some deals, man. Make some deals. Don't be afraid to scour the waiver wire, and you can turn it around. It's not too late.
Yeah, you're not dead. Just make some. But this is a team that needs some moves to be made.
Yeah. And, in a couple of weeks, I could feel a lot better about this if Keenan's coming back strong and Hollywood is back too.
Right.
So, and depending on if you make deals and make moves. So, now's the time. Herbert is on IR. That's the running back, not the quarterback. And we're dropping Herbert, right? If that's the running back, yes, you can. Patrick, what's going on?
If you don't have an IR spot, then yeah. If you can't stash him on IR, then yeah, you can drop Khalil Herbert.
And do you have any insight into what's going on with Goddard? Is it only a few weeks, or is it till playoffs, or what's up?
They said he's going to miss significant time. I haven't seen a specific timeline on that. So he's not going to play this week. Significant time would suggest it's going to be a couple of weeks. But we haven't had anything else other than it's not a season ender, but it's like week to week. So it could be a couple of weeks. It could be 4 weeks. I don't know if he's an IR candidate. I guess this week will be telling. But obviously, you can't rely on Goddard this week. And I would probably say most likely he's already ruled out for week 12 as well.
Yep.
And then and then that's all we have. That's all we have as far as like a timeline. Expected to miss extended time. Could be 2 games, could be 4 games, could be 6 games. More information hasn't been revealed yet.
Yep. And
we should know in 48 hours.
Dylan, I would rather have Justin Jefferson and Kamara, even though I don't ever want to give up Barkley. The fact that Chase is still in a walking boot, and I would think even if both are healthy, I think I'd rather have Justin Jefferson, Barkley for Kamara. I mean, I'm taking the 2 that are playing right now.
If I'm 7-3 or 8-2, then I want Chase and Barkley. If I'm 5-5 or 4-6, then I want Jefferson and Kamara.
Fair enough. Yeah.
If I'm fighting for my playoff life, then give me the healthy dudes now. If I'm sitting pretty with room for with a margin for error, then Chase and Saquon.
All right. Cadillac, trade Lamar and Jeff Wilson for ETN.
Sure.
In a 1 QB, all right. Yep.
Sure. 8-man, and you have Fields. Sure. Yeah.
And Patrick, defensive question here. Packers, Titans, Bears, Falcons, Vikings, Giants, or Broncos? Packers on Packers. On Packers.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the Packers should be fine. The Bears are on the road in Atlanta, so I think I would skip that one. The Falcons, they're also they're on the other side of that game. I don't trust them. The Vikings have the Cowboys at home. Probably skip that. The Giants have the Lions at home. That's enticing. And then the Broncos have the Raiders, I think. But yeah, they do. They actually did okay this past week against the Titans. They had 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery. It's not great. The Giants for me at home against the Lions, I think.
Giants against Lions?
Yeah, the Packers should be fine, I guess. Remember, they gave up a lot of they gave up touchdowns to the Cowboys. They didn't have a great game at home. Now, the Titans' offense isn't as good as the Cowboys' offense. Yeah, they did have 2 sacks and 2 turnovers. They turned Tannehill over twice. Or excuse me, they turned Dak over twice. I guess they could do the same with Tannehill. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind taking a shot on the home team on Thursday night. Packers
that's the way that I would go.
Packers should be fine. Packers should be fine.
And all right, Patrick, throw your roster in, and we'll give you a grade out of 1
we'll give you
1
our
to
worst.
10. Callie, Conklin this week versus the Patriots. There has to be a different, a better option.
Yeah.
Than Conklin.
I mean,
like a Komet,
he exploded
Njoku.
like 2 weeks ago, but then they were on bye this past week. Like week 9, it was against the Bills, so obviously a brutal matchup. 1 catch for 7 yards. The week before against New England, so it's the same matchup. 6 for 79 and 2 touchdowns. I guess you could go back to the well with Conklin, but I'm not sure I would expect even half of that. Like, 6 for 79 and 2. Maybe he goes for 5 for 40 and 1, which would still be a win. It is a good matchup by the numbers. And he shredded that matchup just 2 weeks ago. Yeah. You can roll the dice based off of the recent history, but just note, but Conklin's got a floor of 2 points.
Yep. Yeah. And, Chris, is it dumb to pick up another tight end like Kmet or Conklin and keep Pitts too, or should I drop Pitts for one of them? Pitts is so inconsistent.
Who else would you drop for Kmet?
I would rather have Kmet than Conklin, long shot.
And I'd rather play Kmet than Pitts this week.
Right. But if you don't get Kmet and it's a choice between Conklin or Pitts, I know Pitts is inconsistent. At that point, I'd rather just play Pitts. So it's really Kmet and Pitts. Leave Conklin out of the equation altogether, and I would hold on to both of them. But yeah, who else can you drop?
Yeah.
And Dylan, you're 7-3 with Chase and Barkley, but you lost Kupp, so you're looking for a replacement. Got you.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I'd make the deal.
Yeah. Although you have Justin Jefferson, so who else? Who are you leaning on until Chase can get back?
No, I thought he was picking up Justin Jefferson.
Oh, sorry. 7-3 with Chase and Barkley.
Right.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess I'm still asking, who are you now leaning on, because now you don't have Chase or Kupp. Like, you have Saquon. So, like, do you have another anchor at running back that you can continue to rely on? Like, what are your other wide receiver options? Like, if you need bodies now, then I understand. But also with the again, you have margin for error at 7-3. So despite losing Kupp, as long as I don't have bottom
and what's your playoff schedule
options,
like?
I don't hate keeping what I have.
Or not schedule. What are the playoff hopes look like? Is everybody in your team or in your league 7-3 like somebody else in here? Or was where everybody was 6-4? What's the competition like for you? Are you far and away a clear-cut winner and already clinched the playoffs? Then you can chill. If you're not in that exact situation, I would make the deal.
Yeah.
And Patrick, no, I would go Packers. Callie, is CEH a non-play now in KC? Pretty much, man.
Yes.
Pretty much.
I mean, he goose-egged.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had 2 targets. He didn't catch either one. I'm not sure what to do with that. Does he goose-egg every week? Probably not. Is he usable in fantasy? Also probably not.
Yep. Yeah, is Debo worth Jacoby and a 23 mid-first 10-man and you're in rebuild? If you're in rebuild, no. In a rebuild, it does not make sense to trade for a 27-year-old wide receiver.
Well, I don't want Jacoby. I want more draft capital.
Oh, like I was coming up from it as long as you're not buying Debo and you're getting rid of him. All right, but even if you're getting rid of him,
how old is Jacoby Myers? I thought he was like 26.
Yeah, they're in comparable age.
Yeah, he's 26.
But if
you're in rebuild mode, if you're in clear rebuild mode and I can acquire a first,
then I would do it. But I thought you were coming from the acquisition side where you're trying to acquire Debo, in which case I wouldn't do that. But if you are trying to get rid of Debo in rebuild mode and you can get Jacoby in a 23 first, then go for it.
Yeah.
Chris, you are very welcome. Nemo, Gus, Isaiah Likely, Moreau, or Nico Collins in the flex next week. Moreau or Gus?
Probably Gus at home against the Panthers, as long as he's off the injury report.
Yeah, it'd probably be Gus, but Moreau or Gus, man.
If Mark Andrews is back.
Yeah.
We can't trust Likely if Mark Andrews is back. Probably still Gus, even if Andrews is out one more week. I don't know. I prefer the running back over playing the second tight end.
Fair. Yeah, no, I would. Nemo, you got some help from D. Linney there. Much respect, D. Linney, again. And we would agree. Cadillac, in your other league, your 6-4 quarterback is Herbert. Running back, Chubb, Pierce, Swift, ETN. Wide receiver, Cup, Hill, Kirk, DJ Moore. Tight end, Pat Fryermuth. Bench, Judy, Lazard, Watson with Cup down. Who could I move and try and get? With these open-ended, just let me throw my whole roster in the chat and get some guidance. We were looking at what we offer for our members, and we do offer team evaluations. That's something we specifically offer to our members. So I know in the general chat we've given answers for that type of question in the past, but we do kind of have to enforce that is something that we offered for members, because that's one of the perks of being a member. So it's not fair to them to just give evals for free when it's something that we're technically charging them to be a member.
Yeah, it's more or less we can give you the time that this question deserves with one-on-one sessions.
Right. We'll be able to chill with you and talk to you for 15, 20 minutes about your team and the other teams in your league.
Half hour, yeah.
And all that stuff. Like, we've done that with our members. You can ask them. But, if we want to give you the best answer possible, we need...
That's what it comes down to. We want to be able to give you the best answer possible, and it's kind of hard to do that here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you're interested, Cadillac, and we appreciate the engagement, we appreciate the questions and coming in and hanging out. Those questions are a little tough to do at this time, but first link in the description of this video does show our membership options and opportunities, and that would include one-on-one time with us, where you have our full and undivided attention to address these types of questions. Like here's my team, how do I make it better? We'll deep dive your whole league. So if you're interested.
But in a nutshell, just real quick, try to package Swift and Watson for somebody.
Yeah.
Capitalize on the 3-touchdown game from Watson and the name brand that is Swift to get a clear-cut upgrade somewhere else. But that's about all we can give you as far as an advice without really digging into it and going for 15-20 minutes on the subject with you.
Yeah.
And D. Linney, you're contending in Dynasty and thought about acquiring Debo and Metcalf with the same offer.
Right, so a rebuilding
Debo
team
or Metcalf, yeah.
That package.
Yep. Chris Kreider, pick 2 PPR, Christian Watson, Garrett Wilson, Cooks, Eli Mitchell, Pollard and Foreman.
Chris, we gotta wait until the weekend, because Pollard is an answer here if Zeke is out, but we don't know what Zeke's status is.
Yep.
You could try. I guess I would play Watson over your wide receiver options, but if he's a flex option, then I'd probably wait on Pollard and Foreman. But for Pollard, we're gonna have to wait on to answer that question in full. But I guess if you have to pick one of these wide receivers ahead of Thursday, I guess I would play Watson over Wilson and Cooks.
It's close to me. I do like Wilson. And he's been very good over the past few weeks.
Okay, so then you can play Watson and Wilson.
Yeah.
Because Cooks can comfortably be let. Although Cooks did have a touchdown called back last week.
Yeah, but he's been borderline untrustworthy too.
Oh yeah, no, he's not trustworthy. I'm just saying you can add it to the number of sheesh plays that Brandon Cooks has had this year.
Yeah.
Caught a touchdown, but it was called back due to penalty. So I like calling those situations out because I feel like their box score is not complete.
Yeah, I think I would play Garrett Wilson over Christian Watson. Unless you absolutely are shooting for another 3-touchdown week, in which case go for it. But Pollard and Foreman should be the options if there's no Zeke.
Yeah.
And Nemo, you don't make the rules in Zombieland just because you are the first zombie.
We gave you Stephon Diggs.
Yeah. Patrick, roster grade. I'm just reading your roster real quick.
Patrick, you're a paying member, man.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the roster real quick.
No, he said no. We will answer it. I mean, but
Well, a roster grade is different than a what should I do question.
Yeah, right.
I'm not treating these
roster
the same.
grade is grade the team that I've built. What should I do?
Right.
No, that's an onion. That's a layered question. Yeah. So we're happy to answer, but it's kind of tough to do here now when we're trying to accommodate as many people as possible. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you got a very solid squad. Now, your running backs are kind of unimpeachable if you look at your depth. It's just you hope Dobbins can come back at some point. But I mean, Pacheco, Najee, and Singletary are good RB2s at this point.
Hubbard's whatever.
Yeah, you can probably drop Hubbard for somebody.
For anything.
You picked up Conklin. Is there another tight end? And you have Njoku now too. Is there another tight end? You like honestly, I don't love Conklin. So if you can drop Conklin and Hubbard for a better tight end and then another depth piece.
Trade Conklin and Hubbard to the waiver wire for something else.
Yeah.
You know.
But as far as a roster, like I think this is a solid 7 or an 8.
Jefferson,
Mixon.
Davis, AJ Brown, like strong wide receivers.
Yeah.
You have Mixon, you have Singleton. Yeah, you're fine.
Yep.
Yeah, you're fine, Patrick.
I'd give this an 8, 7.5 or an 8.
Yeah, this is 7. Yeah, 7.5 or 8. It probably bumps up to a very firm 8 with a healthy Mike Williams, and maybe like an 8.5 with a healthy Dobbins.
Yes, absolutely. And you're 6 and 4 in third place. You're good, man. You're good.
Lead the league in points.
So and you remember, bro, and those roster grade questions are different.
Yeah. You've been the victim probably of some tougher luck.
Yep.
Because if you lead the league in points, you should be more like a 7 and 3 or 8 and 2. So.
Yeah, solid squad, bro. Very solid squad. I'd say good. I wouldn't even say solid. Good squad.
Yep.
Cadillac. Which one do you flex? Connor, Debo, T.J. Hawkinson, or Garrett Wilson this week?
Connor coming off of 2 touchdowns with very little competition now. Appreciate the understanding, Cadillac. By the way, we don't mean to kind of brush through things, but appreciate the understanding. But yeah, these questions we're happy to help answer. Obviously, we got to keep an eye on practice reports as far as injuries are concerned. But yeah, I mean, Connor was in a terrible spot last week. Like his entire offensive line was injured, his quarterback was injured. And it was a tough matchup, and he still got 2 touchdowns. So I'll ride that momentum.
Yep, I will too.
Especially after they cut the backup running back for no reason. So yeah, Connor.
That was a weird situation. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, Arizona's a weird organization.
Yeah. Cali Loco. I would go Jawan Johnson after he scored a touchdown and caught 5 receptions last game.
Sure.
And has done that numerous times this past season.
Saints are playing the Rams at home. Sure.
Yeah, he's the tight end 8 on the year. So at this point, like with the way that tight end has been going, just play Juwan Johnson.
Sure.
And D. Lenny, yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I don't think somebody getting pissed off is gonna change their whole fantasy season, but it's a fun narrative. We'll see what happens.
I don't trust the coaches.
It's been tough though with Swift this year. Jay Cross Country. Should I trade Jamar and your 6 and 4 and have Marquise on IR so you're gearing up for a playoff run?
Well, I guess it depends on what you're giving up, right? Like, just be careful not to give up too much for a guy who's injured when you're in good shape, but you're not bulletproof being 6 and 4, right? You got a good team, you got a winning record. But yeah, like who are you giving up, and then therefore what are you relying on while you wait for Chase? Like it's a bit of a loaded question.
Yep. And Abraham Pena, I would do that deal, but that's another deal. We got 2 lopsided trade questions in this live stream right now, and I would say that is a lopsided deal. Josh Jacobs for Hopkins and JT. I would do it, but just understand that you are probably going to get some blowback from your league mates because this is lopsided.
That's lopsided.
And
in the Hopkins and JT side's favor, of course.
Right. So tread lightly and with the understanding that, like, if you accept this deal, getting Hopkins and JT, you might have to deal with your league mates, depending on what kind of league you have. You're playing in, and how forgiving they are.
Like, did that guy propose that to you? Is that guy gonna accept? Like,
is this a deal you're trying to make?
Yeah.
Like, are you proposing this? Because this will not go through if you propose it. Most likely. A little bit
more context would be helpful.
Yeah, but if somebody offered this to you, accept.
It's
but
a huge win. It's a huge win. But for that reason, if I saw that come across in one of my leagues that I commission, I would flag this. I'd be like, what the hell, guys? What's going on?
We'd be hitting the chat and being like, what? Explain this one.
And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. As a commish, I'm like, I'm hands off as possible unless I feel like there might, if I'm sniffing around, I won't call this collusion, but like the fact that I have to flag it, sort of. You see where I'm going with this.
Right.
You know?
Yep. And Callie, I mean, Pittman is usable again as a wide receiver 3 with some upside, but nobody else is.
Campbell has been having some weeks this year.
Yeah, but I'm still not willing to. He's still a dart throw for me. He's still a dart throw for me.
Yeah, he's still a dart throw, but like they've all got. Well, Pierce was goose egged. Alec Pierce was goose egged this past week. Their floors are all raised. Pittman is back to being somebody you can put in your lineup again. Paris Campbell in, I'll say 12 and maybe 14 team leagues is worth a look on the waivers. Not as your first priority, but maybe if you're like at the back, if you're 10, 11, 12, and you're going to miss on Pacheco, you're going to miss on, I don't know, whoever else is out there, Christian Watson, then Paris Campbell could be worth a look. But that's it. 10 or 12, like 12th in the waiver spot, and you could use like a look at wide receiver.
Yep.
So the floors have been boosted as long as Ryan is playing. And Pittman is usable again.
And Abraham, I just saw your other comment come in. That seems a lot more
okay. Pittman and Jacobs, that's more palatable.
Go for it.
That's more palatable.
Yep.
Although it's still pretty
still lopsided, but I would do that because I wouldn't feel so bad about blowback doing that.
Looks
but
better
it's still
on
a win
paper.
For you.
Yeah, it looks better on paper. I'd be like, what the hell? But you're getting the better side of that deal. So sure.
Yeah, that's not a deal that's going to raise any flags with collusion or people trying to veto it. It's just a lopsided deal in your favor.
Yeah.
Chris, that's fine. The Bucks, the bye coming up, and honestly, they have a little bit of a tough schedule, even though you do probably want them for their Week 17 matchup against Carolina. So I'm fine rostering two defenses moving forward. If you have the Bucks, play it situational from here on out, and that's something that we advocate for everybody. Really, I mean, now's the time where you should be rostering two defenses and playing it. Strategic with your matchups, because now it's crunch time. Now you want to win them all.
Yep.
I'd play Jalen Warren daggers. At this point, Jalen Warren is a desperation play just as much as McKinnon is.
The Steelers have who this week? McKinnon has the Chargers. That could be. Warren's home against the Bengals. Man. Yeah, I guess Warren.
Played his second highest snap percentage of his year thus far last week, and nine rushing attempts.
What's his
3 targets, Najee, 3 receptions.
Najee dealing with knee discomfort, whatever that means.
Yeah, I'm willing to play Jalen Warren as a dart throw desperation RB2, which is he ended up with an RB2 week last week. He was RB23.
Yeah.
So yeah, willing to go back to that well.
Yep.
And J Cross Country, you have Waddle and CD, CMC, Walker, Pearson, Connor, who you're thinking about letting go. Don't let him go. Trade
Connor for Chase.
Yeah.
Trade Connor for Chase. There you go, Jay.
Yep.
Or maybe that's what he meant by saying letting him go.
Oh, yeah. Then do that.
Yep. Maybe if that's what you meant as far as, like...
You got the depth and you can do it, and it makes your team better when they're all healthy.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, Connor for Chase is fine with me.
Legacy, would you trade away Chase and Kamara for CMC and Higgins?
Yes.
Yep. Do it. You're getting the better player in CMC and the healthy one in Higgins. Go for it.
Yeah, Legacy, I would do that trade. To acquire the CMC and Higgins side, yes.
And Patrick, I would just go with Moreau. That's fine.
Whoever Waller's backing up. Yeah, it's Moreau.
Yep. Just go with Monroe. Daggers, would you play Terrace Marshall at the flex over guys like Campbell, Slayton, Duvernay? Maybe not Duvernay. Duvernay's the number 1 wide receiver now.
Yeah, I would say not Slayton. I think against the Lions.
Well, either of them, Slayton or Duvernay. I'd rather play both of them over Terrace Marshall.
Yeah.
Slayton first due to the matchup, and then Duvernay, then Marshall, then Campbell.
Yeah.
Fabian, good to see you. 3-win streak right now. All right, 4-6. That's how you do it. Inching back closer to the playoffs. Start 2 full PPR. DJ Moore, Tony, Christian Watson, Drake London. DJ Moore and Christian Watson. And thoughts on Brian Robinson? I mean,
hang on, just say I'll just say this, Fabian. Let's keep an eye on practice reports. If Mecole Hardman is going to be out again, if Juju's going to be out again, then there's a serious argument officially now in Tony's favor. I'll just say that.
Yes, but without that information, Christian Watson. But I would agree. We need more information.
We'll know Thursday practice reports before the Thursday night football game. If Mecole Hardman and Juju Smith-Schuster are trending toward being out, then I might play Tony over DJ Moore. Carolina's in Baltimore. And they're going back to Baker Mayfield, who DJ Moore did very little with.
Yeah, but it's start 2. So then it's just
so I'll go Watson and Tony.
Watson and Tony. There you go.
I'll go Watson and Tony, but we got to wait on Thursday practice reports. If Hardman and Juju or even just one are trending in the right direction, then yeah, I might still lean DJ Moore. But I think I would play Watson as of right now.
And Fabian, I'd rather have Brian Robinson over Perrine and Warren.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Drop Perrine.
Keep Warren. Yep. And Cadillac, start Fields.
Yeah, screw it. Start Fields. He's on a heater on the road in Atlanta. They're giving up top 5 quarterback production this year. Fields.
And so both Nick and I have some work to do after this stream. So I am gonna start to speed this up a little bit here.
I got some World Cup stuff to do. The World Cup starts on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's cool to work in sports until it's
crunch time.
The World Cup, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, everything's happening right now.
Yeah.
There's some fight this week. Who the hell knows?
Lenny, with the more facts that I feel like we should have scrolling through our ticker. Much respect. And Abraham, your team would look solid. So I would say do the trade. Makes you better.
Well, we got a super from
thanks
from
Boxy Kevin.
Thanks, Boxy Kevin. Okay, you did
Hey,
got Taylor
respect.
and Kirk. Both popped. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Nicely done. And now you're a mortal lock for the playoffs. When you get 7 wins, you're in pretty good shape. When you get to 7 wins. I guess now maybe like 8 wins is a little bit more like the benchmark because of the extra week. But being 7-3, you're in great shape. You pretty much just need to win 1 game out of the next 4 to
and if your team is ready at that point,
you're ready to go.
Yeah,
you're ready to go. That's awesome, Boxy. Happy to hear it and appreciate the super.
Absolutely, Chris. You were gonna drop the Jets after this week, but yeah, I would say find 2 defenses whose matchups over the course of the rest of the season kind of, they puzzle piece and fit together with each other. One defense might have a great week 13 and week 14, and then the other defense might have a great week 15, week 16. Grab both. Now's the time to do it. Daggers, you're very welcome. Ryan, good to see you. trying to package Andrews and Cup to one person in your league who is a playoff lock and has some hope Cup will be back, you can get CMC, Amon-Ra, Kittle, Tyreek, D-Hop, JT.
You're trying to package Andrews and Cup.
Get Kittle.
Who is your tight end?
Get Kittle and get any of the other wide receivers.
I mean, Cup is going to be a pretty tough sell. Okay, this guy's a
But he has some hope that he'll be back. So this is a guy that is high on Cup coming back. You're taking a step down from Andrews to Kittle, so you can get an equitable wide receiver and swap.
I mean, yeah, Kittle would make sense if you're getting rid of Andrews, but if you can get any one of those wide receivers.
Try to get Kittle and D-Hop and talk him into, hey, Marquise Brown is coming back soon, so D-Hop's ceiling won't be as high as Cup will be when Cup comes back around the same time, right?
Sure.
And you're taking a step down from Andrews to Kittle, even though that's not much of a step down. And you're getting a more consistent option moving forward at wide receiver because he's healthy. So try that.
Yeah, sure. Give it a whirl. See what happens.
And Patrick, yes, for this week, I would go Moreau over Njoku.
Is Njoku still on the injury report? He didn't play this past week, right?
Yeah, he did not.
Back to being questionable. Yeah, I mean, he's now missed 2 weeks in a row. In addition to that, doesn't include the week 9 bye. So coming out of the bye, he still had to miss time. Now Cleveland's on the road in Buffalo, which is a bottom 6 matchup by the numbers for opposing tight ends.
And they had to deal with 4 to 6 inches of snow.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
I'll take Moreau, Patrick. I'll take Moreau over Njoku. Yeah. Yes.
And Chris, it's no question. It's Kenneth Walker the third. Like, no question. And then it's Jeff Wilson. And then it's Rachaad White for me, and then it's Pacheco, even though I do like Pacheco a lot.
All 4 of these guys are very intriguing.
Walker, the third, for sure, is number 1.
Yeah, he's number 1. I mean, and then Wilson. White is hot on his tail, but we haven't officially seen him take over the backfield yet, so I can't put him over Jeff Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Pacheco is... I would say White and Pacheco are like a 3A and 3B. I don't even want to say Pacheco's 4th. Like, all of these guys look really good. I want all of them in some way, shape, or form if I can.
Yep. Absolutely. And Fabion's a World Cup fan. Give us the inside scoop.
You're from England. There you go. Yeah. They're one of the loaded teams. A lot of the, not all, but a lot of the European clubs, the national clubs are legit, and England's one of them. They absolutely have a chance. They should win their group. Who's
your club team, Fabian? From England? Yeah. Cody, you made out real well if you got Burks in that deal too. Like, what? Good job.
Nicely done, Cody.
Good job.
Guy was feeling generous or whatever?
Yeah. You'll pick up basically a 22 haul. First. Like, do it. Yeah.
Burks isn't going to help. I know you said earlier you're a playoff contender this year. Hence, maybe the why you asked the question, like, should I trade Eckler? But to get this package, Burks isn't going to help you this year, but he's a great futures piece.
Yeah, and you made out otherwise, so very good job, dude.
Nicely done.
Good to hear about, or not good to hear about Hamler, but good to know about Hamler.
Yeah, he's missed some time due to injury.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about him.
I think he's back, or he's questionable still. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We got to see him return. We got to see him return to play. He's got a favorable schedule by the numbers, though.
Yeah, and nobody has a bye week in week 12.
I thought they did.
As far as I know.
Oh, no, yeah, that week 12 is open, oddly. I wonder why that is.
I don't know. Scheduling? I don't know.
Yeah, weird scheduling. But no, week 12 is
because maybe
all 32 teams play.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know why that is. Weird.
Durko, what's going on? Good to see you.
What's up, Durko?
Same with you, Fook. What's going on, man? What do you do with Swift? You trade him off a name recognition for
if you can. Otherwise, I mean, you can fire him up as a low-end RB2 if you can't get anything for him. I mean, I'm not selling just for the sake of selling, but damn,
but if you can get like Damian Harris plus, you're basically treading water at the running back position and picking up another piece, something like that is what I would try to shoot for with Swift.
Yeah, I guess so.
And make the plus something notable because Swift is a brand name at this point.
Yeah.
Just go Daniel Jones v. Detroit, I think, man.
If we know, yeah.
But we can't really say until ask us that question later on in the week.
Tentatively, like I think in a vacuum, if you're saying if he's healthy but he's dealing with the hammy, then yes, Daniel Jones. In that scenario, then yes, Daniel Jones. Yeah. But if he's cleared off if he misses practice Wednesday, but it's a rest day and he's taken off the injury report by Friday, then Kyler.
Yep.
But if he's still like a game time decision or whatever, then Daniel Jones.
And Cadillac absolutely trade Stevenson for Andrews and Pittman. But again, this is the third trade we've gotten this question today where it's like this is lopsided.
This is lopsided.
So everything that comes with that, just be aware. But yeah, in a vacuum, I would trade Stevenson away for Andrews and Pittman and call it a clear-cut win. But there's some baggage that comes with that one. DJ Duvernay, does Montgomery have a good rest of season with Herbert being on IR now? Yes.
Yes. I mean, just he's going to get the work. He's going to get the volume. And
in
the
an
Bears
ascending
are
offense.
On offense right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, he should fall into RB2 production. Like, by accident. Almost.
Oops. But yeah, Montgomery. Very good.
Yeah.
Rest of season outlook. High-end RB2 based off volume alone.
Yeah. Yep.
And Fabian, hey, that's dope.
Chelsea fan. All right. There you go.
I saw Chelsea play once.
Did you? That's
pretty
cool.
Yeah. They played Barcelona when I was in Barcelona.
Oh, that's
like
wild.
2004.
Is that like a Champions League matchup or something?
Yeah, must have been.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Chris, not desperate in any position, but my waiver wire priorities are Elijah Mitchell, Rondale Moore, Christian Watson, and Cole Kmet.
I would put Moore ahead of Mitchell.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Honestly, I'd put Christian Watson ahead of Mitchell too, unless you need a running back. But Rondale for sure, number one priority.
I'd put Rondale first, Chris.
He's
but
been
the rest
doing
of
it
that
for like
is
4 weeks. So
yeah.
And yeah, DJ, I'd say your team is very solid with the players you have. Very solid.
Saquon, Etienne, Diggs. You're good. You're good. You have Montgomery. If nobody wants to make a tight end trade, then just rock with Ingram.
If you're confirmed in for the playoffs, you don't need to ask us how good your team is. You're set.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. And that's a good squad.
Very good squad.
Is Jacksonville on bye this week? I think they are. So, yeah, I don't know, drop Wandale to pick up a tight end stream, I guess. I know who's available.
Yep.
That's about it.
But solid squad, man. And Fabian, where did you hear that Josh Allen wasn't playing?
That's not gonna. Yeah, no, it's Washington against Houston.
Yeah, it's Washington. But I just wanted to hear, where did you hear that Allen wasn't playing? Because I haven't heard that. I thought Allen made it out of the game last week. Healthy,
yeah, he came out of the game just fine.
And that was where the injury concern was. So I think he's playing. But yeah. Washington. And Cadillac, I mean, yeah, it's still crazy lopsided. But do the trade.
Yeah.
Just know people in your league are probably going to be like, what the hell?
I mean, I don't know who his tight end and wide receivers will be after the move, but yeah, I mean, if you can make it happen, then sure. There could be some blowback from anybody else if people pay attention to that type of stuff. Could.
Yeah, and I know I'm skipping ahead of your questions or comments there, Patrick, but Fabian, you at this point, I think you are crazy because Rondale Moore has given you back-to-back usable weeks, and player doesn't do that unless they're reliable.
Yeah, I mean, he's cleared 60 yards receiving in 4 of his past 6 games, and in 2 of them, he's gone over 90 yards receiving. 13 targets, 10 targets, 8 targets, 10 targets, 8 targets. You know, he's...
Does he have an incredibly high ceiling? No, but he's heavily utilized. With a good quarterback.
He's got a relatively safe floor at this point.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But, Patrick, sitting with Conklin, Njoku, and Dobbins and the Vikings defense. I think that's a solid plan.
Drop Conklin.
Yep.
Drop Dobbins, pick up Packers. That's fine. That's fine. I'm trying to remember who were the other guys you had on the bet. Oh, that's right. Okay. No, don't drop Dobbins, Patrick. Drop Hubbard.
Yes.
Drop Hubbard for the Packers defense. Don't drop Dobbins for the Packers. Drop Hubbard.
I didn't catch that.
Hubbard is a clear drop over Dobbins.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hubbard for the Packers defense. Then after Njoku is locked, then you can pick up Miami's defense. Sure, fine. But don't drop Dobbins. Drop Chuba.
Yep. And would you trade a mid-23 second or first for Najee? No, because the running backs that are going to be available to you in the middle of the first next season are going to be better than Najee, and Najee will already be 25 by that point and will be coming off his second year of averaging around 3.5 yards per carry and being for his first year of being a disappointment. And there are a lot needs to be fixed on this offense. So I would not. And Fabian, you have a good night too. Patrick, you got our advice. Keep Dobbins.
Yeah, keep Dobbins. Drop Chuba. Yep, drop Chuba.
And Boxy Kevin, it's a pretty open-ended question here. Saying I have a player who out of the 300 plus players that are in the league can I trade for with this one player? So be a little specific and more specific. What position do you need?
Yeah, like what do you need? What would you be? Yeah, like what if you need a running back and can get a strong, a high end, a top 15 running back, then sure. If you're thin at wide receiver, then maybe you don't do this. It all depends on your situation. You just got Taylor and Kirk, so that's pretty good.
Yep.
I don't know who your RB2 is, but are you going to bump that RB2 out for an RB2 that you acquire? And then which wide receiver is taking Amari's place? It's kind of a loaded question, like John mentioned.
Yeah. So we need a little bit more information there.
Yeah.
A little bit more information, but let me see where we're at. Rave. You got to trade giving away Amari Cooper, another Amari Cooper question, for Singletary and Juju. I would not do that.
Hang on.
I would
Running
rather
backs, you have Henry and Rashad White. You have Godwin, Sutton, DJ Moore. You'll have Hollywood coming back. Oh, man.
Can you trade away Sutton?
Could you do Sutton for just Singletary, Rave?
Well, honestly, I would still try to ask for more lean on the no Juju, but I would trade Sutton instead of Cooper.
Yeah, I would rather trade Sutton.
Quarterback situation gets better, and he's shown a ceiling this year, even with Brissett. Sutton really, outside of a 2 to 3 game stretch, really has not, and isn't getting any help soon. So I would try to trade Sutton.
Yeah.
Over Cooper. And Pascal, I think I would.
Do I trade Mixon and Hurts for McCaffrey and Burrow?
I think I would.
Yeah.
It's close. I just think I would. Burrow's still a very good quarterback.
Yeah, but he's down Chase for still, and I'd rather have Hurts for the rushing upside. Mixon's not as good as McCaffrey, but I feel like the drop off from Hurts to Burrow is larger.
Burrow's the QB5. All right, just because he's not a rushing quarterback doesn't mean that he is getting a little bit disrespected by the fact that everybody goes gaga over rushing quarterbacks. Burrow's the QB5. He only has 2 weeks outside of the QB 10 range. I think I'd do this.
All right.
CMC is much better than Mixon on a per game basis.
Yeah.
So I would do it. And Boxy Kevin, I unless you're getting one of the top couple of tight ends, Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, really those three. I'm not trading Amari Cooper for anybody else. He gave
us his roster with another super.
And thank you very much. If you have Schultz at tight end and Everett, you're fine.
Yeah, Schultz is coming back. Schultz has come back a little bit.
He just scored a touchdown last week. You're fine at tight end.
Did he have a touchdown against the Packers?
Yeah, I think he did. Pretty sure.
I'm just looking this up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, 6 for 54 and a touch. Yeah, you don't need a tight end.
No, You're fine. You're good.
You actually don't need a tight end. Schultz is rounding into form and healthy.
Yeah, you have what looks to be a very good
Taylor.
squad, bro. Like you don't have anything to worry about. Keep
what you have. You made your move to get Kirk and Taylor. Now you sit back and relax. Oh,
yeah,
I missed
very solid squad.
Like
very solid squad.
You'd be trading Cooper to try to get a better wide receiver, but you have to give up one of those running backs to do it, which I don't want to do when I already have Diggs. Like, you're fine, Boxy. Yeah, you're good. I would do absolutely nothing. And I mean that I would do nothing. I think you got a really good squad.
Patrick, don't focus on Khalil Herbert as a stash for the playoffs. We'll get news on him when we get news on him, but I'm not holding him at expense of getting a second defense or something like that. And Cadillac will know more definitively if Andrews is playing for sure. It looks like he will, but we can't say definitively until we get concrete news on.
He's on track to return.
On his status. Yeah.
He's on track to return. That's the best that we have. Like, that's the best or most latest that we have. So it's a positive update, but that's all we have. He's on track to return. Doesn't mean he's guaranteed to return, but odds are decent. Odds are good.
And if it's a 1 QB league, Boxy, you're fine. You really are fine with Cousins. He's QB 11, and that's with a bye week in there. When we talk about Burrow being the QB 5, he has not had a bye week yet. So the little bit of a edge to Kirk Cousins rest of the season because you don't have to factor in he doesn't have a bye. Can you get better at quarterback? Sure. It's not a weakness really of yours. So I would chill because your team is really good.
Yep.
And Patrick, I think you just gotta wait until Dobbins returns and try to just keep it moving with Mixon, Singletary, and Pacheco, which isn't a terrible group. It's just you wish you had a little bit of depth there, but I think you're fine.
It's fine.
And Hunter traded JT for ETN last week.
That was in a keeper league. So Taylor came back.
Yeah, and did well.
Taylor came back and did his thing. ETN had a quieter week this past week. I mean, I assume
it's kind of a wash to me.
It looks like a win. I mean, it looked like a win last week with so much like hanging in the balance for the Colts. Now they put Matt Ryan back in, and the team performed better against a bad team in the Raiders. I think better days are ahead for ETN. He continues to get the volume in that offense. I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I do. And it's going to be cheaper to keep ETN next year than it is to keep Taylor. And they'll be both still pretty comparable. So it's a good value in a keeper league. He's still going to help you win games this year. Yeah. And
Pascal, and this looks like the last question. Boxy, you are very welcome. Thank you for chilling. We'll get to 611BZ's question as the last question then. But Pascal, the Hopkins low-end wide receiver 1 instead of being a mid-tier to high-end wide receiver 1. He's still a wide receiver 1.
He'll be in the 11 to 15 range, maybe the 10, maybe the 10 to 12 range on the higher end with top 6 upside any week. But Yeah. I mean, no Ertz. I think everybody, and I think all these wide receivers, even when Hollywood returns, are safe. Perfectly fine.
Yep. And Bills defense and Singletary for Geno, DK, KC defense. If there's a better defense like on the wire that I could just drop KC for and basically, just stream defense moving forward, which is something that I would kind of, if you don't have a top defense, recommend. But pick up Geno and DK if I'm hurting at quarterback and wide receiver then I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. You can stream defenses and be all right. So, yeah, I would do it.
Yeah.
But
if you could use a wide receiver, then sure.
Yeah, but thank you guys for chilling. We are at the end of the chat here. Nick and I do have some work to do tonight, so we're gonna get moving forward with that. Thanks everybody for chilling. Again, Discord is the third link in the description, and you can join that for free. Evergreen invite, you can join that for free. Just join our community and crowdsource questions in the chat, and oftentimes Nick will jump in and help you with your questions as well. But great community there and absolutely free again. And if you are willing to support the channel monetarily, we have a 99-cent tier members offers you 8 streams a month, 2 extra streams a week with us, so you don't have to you don't have the competition of everybody in the chat. You get more in-depth questions and just more access to us. So if you're interested in doing something like that for 99 cents, and Chris, thank you very much for the super.
Chris.
Much
appreciate that. Appreciate the engagement and the conversation. Appreciate that.
But that's available, and we also have other members tiers with other perks, and you can take a look at those too. That is the first link in the description. But Nick is going to be back with you tomorrow for his Box Score Wednesdays. I will be back with you this week, Thursday, for the Thursday night game stream, and then we will be back with you full force on Saturday at 6 p.m. EST and Sunday 10 a.m. EST for the Start Sit streams this week. But thank you guys for chilling, and we will see you not next week, but later on in the week.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Have a good